broadcasting live at the Hershey Park Stadium tonight. The championship in AAA coming out of the East. They're the defending state champs. We're talking about Strath, a team that has won the last 29 in a row and was a knockout in last week's East Final, 21-0 win against Manheim Central. Champions out of the West, well, they're back. West Allegheny, the Indians, coming in with a record of 13-1. Their only loss happened earlier this season against Thomas Jefferson. Since then, they have been in full throttle. Good evening, everyone. It's our privilege to bring you exclusive coverage of the 2000 PIAA Football Championships. Tonight, the Indians of Strath, and you see them bouncing around. Well, not many thought they'd be here. Not many really gave them a whole bunch of respect. Many publications had them ranked behind Berwick all year long in the East and really around the state. Well, they solved that 2 weeks ago. And Mark Shuey, they have knocked off 3 straight undefeated teams to get back.
Well, you said not many thought Strath would be there. Yeah, including their coach, Kevin Clancy. Last year, when he saw West Allegheny, who his Strath team knocked off for the AAA title, he looked across the field and saw the losing West Allegheny team, and he said to his club, he said, you know, boys, he goes, that team's probably going to be back here next year, meaning 2000. He wasn't sure if his team would be, but like Jed said, they're on a 29-game winning streak, are the Panthers. They have posted 14 shutouts during that streak, and they have been absolutely dominant. Last week, they shut out Manheim Central, a team that racked up 51 points in the PIAA quarterfinal. So this is a great defensive team. They've got a lot of offensive weapons, and West Allegheny, they come chalked once again.
There's that Strath band. Now we get a look at Bob Palco and those West Allegheny Indians. Let's go down to Gary Sutton, who's covering the sidelines for us. Gary, not bad weather-wise, 28 degrees. We saw left to right with the winds at 5 to 10. Key news for West Allegheny, because last year, if you remember, 30 to 35 miles an hour, and if you were going against the wind last year in the PIAA championships, you couldn't do anything in the air. Not the case tonight. West Allegheny can use the whole package.
Compared to last year, this is like an evening zephyr right now. Just light winds down here. The field's in great shape, and a real electric atmosphere here at Hershey Stadium tonight as the band electrified the crowd before the game. 250 strong here from Strath. But for West Allegheny, last year, Bob Palco, as Mark said, had his team, as they tried to turn away, turn back and watch the gold presented to this Strath team. And believe me, that is a motivating memory for them as they come in here tonight to try to avenge their only loss all last season. They're 13-1 coming in here tonight. And certainly Strath, a team that a lot of people did not expect to be back here because they lost 5 big players. Here again tonight, undefeated, and as you said, 14 shutouts during that 29-game winning streak. Jed?
There's about as unassuming as the uniforms, like the Penn State theory, right? Real bland type look. They don't play really, flashy football, but it's with a high IQ, and we'll get into that theory here in a little while. Effective, oh yeah, they're 14-0. We mentioned that 29-game winning streak, which in those 29 games, you have 14 by shutout. Here's our national anthem. Atmosphere electric for this AAA championship game. We expect to see this game played at an extremely high level, as you expect championship weekend. 2nd to 4. Earlier today, Rochester claimed the title in single A with a 22-14 win against Southern Columbia. Tomorrow at noon, it's Mount Carmel, Aliquippa at 5. The main event, 2 top 10 teams nationally. Erie Cathedral Prep, Central Bucks West. But right now, Mark, this is really compelling stuff. I've been looking forward to this game among the others. This is going to be good.
This is two evenly matched teams. A couple of quick
stuff.
keys as to West Allegheny. They've got to use the arm of their fine quarterback, Tyler Palco. Although his throwing numbers are not real gaudy, about 1,200 yards in the season, he does possess one of the finest arms in Pennsylvania. Joe Slapp, he's a great possession receiver. They've got to use that combination tonight. No turnovers. Why? Because Strath Haven simply does not turn the ball over. They haven't all year, and chances are they will not begin to do that tonight. These two teams are so evenly matched, turnovers could determine the winner and get a productive outing from their two 1,000-yard running backs. We're talking about Jamie Fitzgerald, and Kellen Campbell. For Strath Haven, contain Palco. And also, they must minimize the effectiveness of those two 1,000-yard runners. Also, Strath Haven, they must forget last year. This is a whole different West Allegheny team. Strath Haven won last year 21-7. They must forget it.
There's Derek Javerone, one of the best kickers in the state, ready to kick it off. A number 8 for Strath Haven's waiting on the other end. They're going to kick it, and it is going to go out of bounds. What I was about to say, Josh Hannum wears number 8 for Strath Haven. He took the opening kickoff in the Eastern Final against Manheim Central, back 92 yards for a touchdown. Let's have a look at the Strath Haven situation offensively. Plug in some of the names here as they start gathering. And Mike Connor, he's 43-1 as a starter at the quarterback. Mike Calder, he's coffee quick. Mulhern, he's grit tough fullback. Hannum, a 4.35 guy in the 40, and McGarrity caught a touchdown last week. Up front, these guys have been together, and Love is 295 pounds, and he's about a 5.51 in the 40. They're an absolute handful. And Scarpignato may be one of the best guys getting into the gaps. He will cut off stunts for West Allegheny, and we're ready to get the first play underway. We'll look at the West Allegheny defense here in the next series. Connor, hand off quickly, and they pound it with Brian Moore, a junior. Moore's kind of a change-up, pick-up, quick type back. Now let's look at the West Allegheny defense here. Tyler Palco, we're going to talk about him so much on offense, but the biggie is Adam Trishilla. He's been out much of the year with a interior cruciate ligament, but since he's come back, West Allegheny has run on all cylinders. And on defense, we talk Tyler Palco. He'll be mixed in there as a defensive back. Joe Slappy, talk him all night long as a wide receiver as well. On second down, they'll pound Mulhern for maybe a yard or two, and that's about it. It'll be third, let's call it 2.5 here for Strath Haven.
You talked about Mulhern. He's got about half a dozen brothers, but then they've all played football. Mulhern, 6'1", 210-pound senior, over 1,000 yards on the ground this year, headed for Delaware. His average carry, 6.3 yards. So he gets it done when they put the ball in his belly.
There are many Delaware connections. We'll talk about that throughout the rest of the weekend, especially with the Beach Boys tomorrow with Mount Carmel. Connor, quick handoff. Mulhern has a first down and bursts forward to the 49-yard line, a gain of 5 or 6. And they're going to run behind Zach Love, Scarpignato, and Battelle. This line, Mark, really can just get moving.
Yeah, like you said, Zach Love, 290 pounds. Scarpignato, he's 275 pounds. Then you've got Mulhern bursting through there. And Mulhern's a big boy, 210 pounds. So that's a lot of beef heading your way.
They've all played together the last 3 years as starter. Connor to the air for the first time, looking long. Hannum's out there. He's a burner. Got it inside the 20, all the way to the 9-yard line. Josh Hannum, he's only a junior. He's on the radar screen for many Division I colleges, and he shows why with a 43-yard catch from Connor.
Well, Josh Hannum, he's a wideout. He's got pure speed. He's the Central League 100-meter yard champion in track and field. You can see he's got a step on the defender. Ball a little bit underthrown, but Hannum waits for it. He's a big play receiver. Makes things happen on the football field, and that's the first big play of this ball game.
Good throw by Connor, just a simple stop and go. And they find Hannum. They've gone to him a lot in the clutch throughout this 2000 campaign, Mark.
Mike Connor's a tremendously effective quarterback. He's thrown for over 1,800 yards this season, 15 touchdowns, and get this, only 2 interceptions. That is an absolutely great touchdown to interception ratio.
Well, already a 43-yard catch by Hannum. Strath Haven after the penalty gets it inside the 5. Now, they have not clicked offensively the last 2 weeks. But granted, they've had to play 2 teams that were undefeated, Berwick and Manheim Central. A lot of it does with the opposition, and they dominated. Now, let's see. I think West Allegheny's going to call a timeout. Yes, they are. They didn't have the right scheme in. Talking about Connor momentarily, here's a stat. I got this. He's 91-3 since 5th grade. So
he's a winner. And there's no question
what's
about
going
that.
on there.
And I'll tell you what, the guy knows his football. You're looking at Mike Connor there, number 15, the quarterback for Strath Haven. His brother, Dan Connor, is number 40. We'll see him a lot. He's a running back. He's also a safety. Jim Connor is the defensive coordinator for Strath Haven. And these kids were raised on Bud Wilkinson 5.2 defensive books and play calling and diagramming plays and whatnot. So these guys really know their football, and they are good football players. Mike Connor, just a gritty quarterback. Nothing but a winner there.
They have been spectacular in the postseason. You were talking about the giveaway takeaway. They're plus 14 in the postseason since the playoffs began.
That's amazing. And I'll tell you what, you're going to win a lot of ball games like that, and they have been winning a lot of ball games. That's why I said one of the keys to the game for West Allegheny, no turnovers.
They'll put Mulhern and Calder into the backfield. They'll hand off Mulhern. He's picking his way close to the goal line. Are they going to give it to him? Might be inches short. Gary Sutton, you're down there. Let's go to Gary for the first time. Gary?
Well, you got the nose of the football basically just outside the goal line as Mulhern took about 3 guys in there toward the goal line with him. So it'll be 2nd down and goal to go.
Trishilla made the touchdown saving stop for now. In the backfield is Calder. It's going to be Connor on a keeper, and Strath Haven's got the first touchdown of the game. Yes, they do. They give it to him. Connor sneaks in from a yard, and Strath Haven uses the big catch from Hannum to get inside the 10. And let's see, just a simple play here. Very safe strategy employed by Kevin Clancy.
Yeah, Mike Connor, quarterback sneak, right up the middle, touchdown, 1 yard out.
On for the conversion is going to be Carl Schoenman, a junior, 6-foot junior. Connor to hold. So they use a 6-play drive to open the football game. Go 65 yards. And they burn up almost 4.5 minutes. The kick is no good. He pushed it wide right. Those are big. Earlier today, Rochester was able to dodge 2 missed extra points. Let's see the touchdown again.
There you go, Mike Connor. Looks like he may have fumbled that snap initially, but he snuck in. Kevin Clancy says, I'm just a conservative football coach, and that's a very smart conservative call right down there on the 1 yard line. Have your veteran quarterback take it in from 1 yard out. And Strath Haven takes a 6-0 lead here, moments into the first quarter of play.
Check in with the coach, Gary Sutton. Gary, always when you get to a state championship environment, especially if it's a second time around, getting off to a positive start, boy, you got to really feel good for Kevin Clancy right now.
Well, I got to tell you what, right now Kevin Clancy's feeling really good. His quarterback, Mike Connor, looked like a veteran in the NFL, mixing it up with the quick dives, the student body left, and then the long pass to set up a touchdown with some nice power. Good combination of finesse and power the whole time, and he's certainly happy he's on the board first year. That's why this team's won 65 of their last 69 games, Jed.
Again, they're on a 29-game winning streak. They're nationally ranked in this week's USA Today Top 25, and I think everybody, if you're looking at them for the first time, you know why now. So they'll kick off, and West Allegheny's going to get their first swing at the bat here. Big opening for Fitzgerald to the 30-yard line. Fitzgerald's a slippery type of back. We'll call his name all night long.
You know what what Strath Haven does so very well is they take the lead and then they're put the game in the hands of their defense. Last week against Manheim Central, Josh Hannum ran the opening kick back 92 yards. Strath Haven had a 7-0 lead just 13 seconds into the ball game. And this is a Strath Haven team that's given up an average of less than 5 points a game over that 29-game winning streak.
There's Tyler Palco, the quarterback. The motion man is going to be Chris Leonard. Palco, quick handoff. Fitzgerald bangs forward, positive yardage to about the 34, a gain of 4. Let's have a look at the West Allegheny offense right now. Tyler Palco, he's only a junior. Kellen Campbell, Joe Slappy, Jamie Fitzgerald, Manny Rojas, great tight end. He's a guy that can find the end zone. And up front, they've got DeLuca, Gray, Hobbs, Martin, Trishilla. They have not had this unit together as much as they would have liked. We'll look at Strath Haven defensively in a little bit after this next play. We're looking at 2nd and 6 right now. Palco under center, backs are in an eye. Or set big 5-2. They'll pitch Fitzgerald trying to get the corner. Step around moves, got a first down to the 43-yard line. Again, good vision this time by Fitzgerald. Mark, you'll be able to describe exactly what he waited for. Kind of waited for everybody kind of clear, and then he stepped it up a little bit. Good run by Fitzgerald for a first down.
And there you see the Strath Haven defense. There's big Zach Love, Sean Gray, Steve Windsor, Mike Cunningham, and John Mulhern. Very tough linebacker. Josh Hannum, cornerback, Brian Moore, Mike Connor, and brother Dan are the safeties.
Get our end zone shot of Palco, so West Allegheny moves the chains on their first series. Quick hand up, going to be play action. Here he goes on the option. Palco is just gathered in. Zach Love is in on the play. He's the first guy there, and they also get great pursuit out of the linebackers. I talked to you earlier about Sean Gray, a transfer in from Glen Mills. He's number 19 here on your screen. Bang.
Yeah, look at the pursuit, that lateral pursuit from the linebackers. Snuffing out Palco.
This team doesn't panic. Now, Mannheim Central was in Strath Haven territory 7 times in the Eastern Final last week. But again, Mannheim Central turned it over 4 times. The shorter the field, the more the speed of the Strath Haven defense becomes problematic. Here's Palco, back, throws it over the middle, and intended for Leonard. We may have pass interference. That's what they did. They say it went right over the back. Strath Haven obviously disagrees. They say the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage. So you got to look at Steve Windsor there. We'll see if that's the case.
Steve Windsor, Brian Moore, the corner, also in the vicinity. Brian Moore, number 20, may have climbed on the back. Looked like it may have been tipped.
Chris Leonard downfield, though, not at the line. It's tipped downfield, not at the line of scrimmage.
Chris Leonard, the intended receiver. Referee's talking things over right now.
Let's go to Gary. Gary?
Yeah, right now they're saying I didn't see it. The one referee was asked, he said, I didn't see it over in the far side. I think they're going to let the penalty stand.
Well, they called it, and, you know, we had a couple of coaches up here, and they basically, until the contact.
Pass interference on the defense.
So they do call pass
15-yard
interference.
penalty, first down.
Steve Windsor of Strath Haven, you saw the picture of him kind of indicating that it was tipped. He thought he tipped that ball, but...
there you see Kevin Clancy. I don't know whether they're unanimous in that particular decision, but they also don't have the advantage like we do up here of instant replay. So big break for West Allegheny now to the Strath Haven 43-yard line. Kellen Campbell's first carry, step around move, and he withers and winds his way for about 3 or 4 yards. I like Campbell a lot. He's over 1,000 on the year, and there's Steve Windsor right there, number 84 for Strath Haven.
But when you talk about a running back's vision, you can really see it on this play. Watch Campbell. He sidesteps John Mulhern, who comes in right there. And he sidesteps him, gets more positive yardage. But that's not a big booming run for Kellen Campbell, but there's a real smart run, had good vision on that.
Well, Mulhern, you just talked about him against Berwick 2 weeks ago. 139 yards on the ground, had 11 tackles, picked off 2 passes. I mean, that's a good night.
Hey,
and he's going to Delaware.
And speaking of Strath Haven linebackers and their effectiveness, the other guy, and you're going to see him with a big cast on his arm, is Mike Cunningham. He broke his, there you see Mulhern
right there.
He is one heck of a player. Mike Cunningham broke a finger in that Berwick game. A couple of days later, they opened it up, put a couple of pins in it. He played against Mannheim Central. The pins were taken out. The doctors were not sure. There you're looking at the cast of the left arm of Mike Cunningham. The doctors weren't sure if he'd be able to play in this ball game. When they took the pins out, they said, if any bones have shifted, you're not going to play. Well, they took the pins out earlier in the week. No bones have shifted. There is Mike Cunningham in the ball game. In fact, that big cast tipped a pass against Mannheim Central and enabled Dan Connor, the free safety, to pick off a crucial pass last week in the Eastern Final.
2nd and 6 here for West Allegheny. We're now putting that up on there. There's your time remaining on the upper right here in the first quarter. Now go, handoff. Ooh, Fitzgerald got crunched by Pat Battelle, 6 foot, 225-pound defensive end.
Yeah, here you're going to see it again. Pat Battelle comes right in the middle there. Oh, that is a big, hard hit. 220-pound, 6-foot senior. He plays big as well.
That's the one thing about this defense. So many seniors, Mark. It's kind of like even the new guys. What do I do? It's like, well, just stay out of the way.
Yeah, there are 2 underclassmen on this Strath Haven defensive unit. Number 20, Brian Moore, cornerback. And number 40, Dan Connor, he's just a freshman.
What a prospect he is. Motion man is Leonard. Palco back to pass. He only threw 6 times last week. Throws it on the move, and it's dropped. I believe that's Campbell out in the flat. Good coverage by Cunningham. Again, the linebackers for Strath Haven. There's Cunningham on your screen now. I think this is the best group of cover guys I've seen a linebacker in a long while. They are sensational.
Boy, they showed it there. And I'll tell you what, they distracted Kellen Campbell. He made a mistake that many receivers do make, and that is he took the eyes off the ball and started to head upfield before he hauled it in. As you look at Bob Palco, head coach of West Allegheny, what a successful run they've had.
Well, Palco drops back to punt. Obviously, the threat of a fake is always in play. And he knocks it for the corner, and it goes out of bounds, I believe, up near about the 11 or 12-yard line. And actually, they're going to say around the 14. So that's where Strath Haven will go to work.
23-yard punt.
6:17 left here in this opening quarter. Well, both teams have felt each other out a little bit. And Strath Haven, based on the strength of his 6-play, 65-yard drive, keyed by a 43-yard catch by Hannum from Connor, has the lead, although that missed extra point still kind of looming here. Crisp evening. Mentioned temperatures about 28 degrees, but comfortable. Handoff Calder. He gets his first carry, and he can only pop it to about the 17-yard line. Tackle is going to be made by Brian Hajos, who's a junior.
Here you're going to see that handoff to Mike Calder once again. 619 yards on the year for the 195-pound senior on 107 carries.
I think that Manny Rojas on the stop. So a gain of 2 for Calder. He's had a big season as well. Play action. Connor can run, and he will underneath. He throws on the move, looks at Mulhern, incomplete, a little bit behind. Coverage downfield by Chris Leonard of West Allegheny.
Yeah, Leonard had some great coverage out of his linebacker spot. There you're looking at John Mulhern. Came out of the backfield, turned around, passed a little bit behind him. That'll bring up a 3rd and long, 3rd and 8 for Strath Haven, their second possession of the ball game.
Mike Mormile has come in. So now they're going with a 3 wide receiver set. Seems to be some confusion on the West Allegheny defense. We'll see if they work that out. Connor on 3rd and 6, drops to throw, looking, Hannum again, and he shoots him at about the 40-yard line. Little fade route. Good coverage that time from Joe Slappy, who stayed step for step.
Absolutely. He's just a junior, but he's a game breaker. Joe Slappy, a threat offensively, and that time great coverage defensively on the very speedy Josh Hannum. We saw the effectiveness of Josh Hannum in Strath Haven's first offensive possession there. You're looking at Connor fade back. A little too much air under that one, but look at number 7. Joe Slappy step for step with the speedy Josh Hannum.
So Tyler Palco is back to take the punt. And it's off the side of his foot, and it's only out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Boy, that hurts.
Dad Bob Palco fielded the punt.
So that'll be sensational field position here for West Allegheny. Let's go down to the coach, Gary Sutton, and see what's brewing down on the sideline. Gary?
Well, so important to play that game of field position, as you said, Jed, at this particular point. And that was a very important series, I think, for West Allegheny, just getting a little bit of momentum back instead of getting one of those long marches again, as we saw in the 6-play touchdown drive before. So West Allegheny definitely grabbing a little bit of momentum on that defensive series. Jed?
A.J. Raperto is into the game now at one of the wide receiver positions. West Allegheny runs that power eye football. They'll hand it off. Jamie Fitzgerald got a big hole, got about 5 to about the 38-yard line, maybe the 37. So it'll be second about 5 upcoming here for West Allegheny.
You know, there you're looking at Tyler Palco handing the ball off. And a lot of people have said to Bob Palco, the head coach of West Allegheny, you know, your son's a tremendous quarterback. He's going to be a Division I player, and you don't throw that often. He's got a great arm. Why not? And Bob Palco's response is, hey, I'm a conservative football coach. In my estimation, I think you have to run the ball effectively in order to win, and who can argue? 35-4 over the last 3 seasons with 2 WPIAL titles.
This team has really hit all cylinders. Here's Fitzgerald again. This time got caught up behind one of his teammates, and then Mulhern cleaned up at about the 34. So it'll be 3rd, let's call it 3 upcoming here for West Allegheny to keep this drive moving.
There's Mulhern. Boy, these linebackers really have a nose for the ball. Look at Mulhern fighting off the block and making the stick.
Mulvihill, Dave Mulvihill. That's who he ran up the back on. Mulvihill, of course, didn't know he was there. So 3rd and 3 for West Allegheny. Palco only threw the ball 6 times last week. This time he's back again, throws out of the flat. They've got a first down, a lot more, and it is a first down. Kellen Campbell to the 24, and a gain of 9. Nice safe route to run here. Get out in the flat, leak out the fullback late. Safe situation.
Exactly. Real good call. Quick drop, 2 steps. Left-hander Palco over to Kellen Campbell. Watch the vision here, too. Splits the 2 linebackers, Mulhern and Cunningham, before finally getting tripped up. He almost broke that for additional yardage.
How about that? 2 linebackers covering a guy in the slot like that. Granted, he moved the chains, but that's impressive. Just see 2 guys on your screen over there. Those are linebackers, folks.
Go line!
Hand off Fitzgerald again. Fitzgerald winding for positive yardage to about the 17 and a gain of 7. Well, I'll never forget anything Lou Holtz will tell you. He says average yards on first down, one of the most important stats to find out who's really winning the big one, the big board, the scoreboard. And they're really moving out some big chunks here.
Yeah, they are. Look at this nice hole that opens up. Good lateral pursuit from the Strath Haven defense, but not before Fitzgerald racks up 7 yards. Fitzgerald, 1,171 yards on the season.
Now Strath Haven, again, they're tougher to score on in here in a shorter field. West Allegheny will look to solve that. And you get a motion with an unbalanced line right here, and that's going to be against West Allegheny.
Yeah, that's a crucial call.
Big 5-yard penalty, so 2nd and 4 becomes 2nd and 9.
Yeah,
Listen to the official here.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the offense. 5 yards. Still 3rd down.
Well, they didn't have a tight end. They didn't have a tight end on that side. They had a wide receiver. He went in motion. And that was the infraction.
The clock continues to move. Those kind of penalties really stall momentum, Mark, and I know Bob Palco's going crazy about it.
All of a sudden, it's a 2nd and 9 situation, and that kind of negates that nice first down run from Fitzgerald.
Looks to be a pass. That's what it is. Palco looks, throws over the middle, caught. First down. Mike Craig has got it all the way down to the 6-yard line, and a gain of 16. Craig, a junior, 5'10". Let's go down to Gary Sutton. Gary, you're right on the boundary there. What do you got?
Jed, what they're doing right now defensively, Strath Haven playing a zone, and Palco doing a nice job of finding the soft holes right in the middle of that zone inside the linebackers.
He'll pick you apart in there. Palco, again, only a junior. Ohio State, Penn State, University of Pittsburgh's already said, hey, you want a verbal now? We'll be more than happy to have it. Here's Campbell. Not much there. Mulhern says no more at the 5.
You know how good Tyler Palco is? He was invited to be on a television program out in Pittsburgh with the Steeler quarterbacks. Cordell Stewart. There you see Palco handing off to Kellen Campbell as he hits the line of scrimmage. He was invited to be in a television program with the Steeler quarterbacks, Cordell Stewart and Kent Graham. They had a throwing competition where they threw through a life preserver. Guess who won the competition? Tyler Palco. There you're looking at John Mulhern, Strath Haven's outstanding linebacker.
So 2nd and goal now, West Allegheny at the 5. They'll pitch to Fitzgerald, trying to get the corners. Got a seam. Fitzgerald to the 1-yard line. A gain of 4. That's a good-looking play, though. They had an excellent blocking out front, and you really got to give Strath Haven a lot of credit just to put this fire out.
Yeah, watch. Brian Moore comes up from his cornerback spot. There you see Dan Connor. There's a free safety coming up, too, to make the hit just before he can sneak into the end zone. Big hit from the secondary.
That is right at the 1-inch line. Gary, you're down there. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of room, is there?
Well, I'll tell you what, though, that's the old student body right play that USC used to make so famous. And when you got all those bodies out in front, it looks pretty good. And now you're at the goal line.
Quarterback sneak for Palco, touchdown. That's the safe call right there. And West Allegheny has tied this football game with 57 seconds left. Boy, they got good surge on that, Mark. I mean, they just blew that right in there.
That looked like it could have gone for another 9 yards or so. Yeah, look at the beef moving up front here, and he just moves the pile right behind him.
That's Mike Hobbs, the center, and he got his block. Well, Javerone, if there's a big advantage, it's here in this game for West Allegheny. They say Javerone is pretty much an automatic guy inside 40 yards. He's got that high leg kick, soccer style, Palco to hold. And of course, that missed extra point could loom large. A kick, that's going to go off the scoreboard, isn't it? Close. It's off the building behind there. And it's 7-6, so West Allegheny rides the lead.
An 8-play, 42-yard drive.
That may be the first time all year Strath Haven's trailed the football game. I don't know that totally, but they've dominated.
Well, the quarterbacks have checked in with 1-yard touchdown runs here in the first quarter of play. Mike Connor scoring for Strath Haven from 1 yard out, and Tyler Palco, a 1-yard sneak in from the end zone, into the end zone.
The coach, Gary Sutton, has something for us. Gary?
Bob Palco took his team out last night to the IMAX Center to see climbing Mount Everest and also Michael Jordan at the IMAX, and he said, this is what we want to remember tomorrow is climb Mount Everest. Well, they just tied the game up here. I guess they climbed at least partway up so far. We've got a 7-6 lead now for West Allegheny, and all I can think about both these teams thus far, Jed, is class, class, class. They both look very, very sharp tonight.
Well, we knew this game would be played at a high level. I mean, you'd got a feeling if there wasn't going to be any win, West Allegheny would be able to at least use everything in their box. And, you know, Strath Haven, obviously it's a crisp start. Two very good clubs. Those are the kind of games you remember, and great atmosphere, obviously, here in Hershey. Kevin Stump, Tom Stevens, everybody associated here with the Hershey Park Stadium, and great host. And, of course, everybody in the PIAA, it's a privilege to be here. It's one of the weekends I look forward to. This will come for Brian Moore. He's a game breaker, and West Allegheny puts that out at about the 33-yard line. Tackle is made down there by Deontay Henry, a sophomore. Well, this will be the third trip now on offense for Strath Haven. They've had a chance to kind of feel out trends. Back to basics. There's that Kevin Clancy down there, the head coach at Strath Haven.
Riding a 29-game winning streak, second longest winning streak in the state, next to Central Bucks West. We're going to see them here tomorrow night.
5 o'clock, reverse handoff Calder. He's coffee quick, but again, good coverage. Kellen Campbell's got him horse-tied around the ankles after a gain of about 2. Calder, a senior, and you better know where he is. If he gets the corner, he's a handful.
Yeah, line's pulling. Mike Calder tries to get the end, but great play by Kellen Campbell out of his linebacker spot. Outside linebacker doing exactly what he should.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them try something down the middle a little bit with Hannah, maybe a curl in or a slant in. Although this looks like a run situation here as Connor stepping under center at 2nd and 7. Nope, they're going to do some play action. Connor looking long for Hannum again. He's got a stop, start, and oh, he almost got it at the 30. That rolled all over the place. Deontay Henry on the coverage. Whoa.
Tremendously athletic play by all involved. Here's the fake handoff to Brian Moore. Drops back, waiting for Hannum. Look at the throw downfield. Watch how many times they tip it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the leg. 5 touches on that ball.
Interesting way to end the first quarter. Very entertaining. There's Josh Hannum, his 43-yard catch in the first quarter. Set up a little 1-yard run by Mike Connor, the quarterback. Tyler Palco capped off a long drive with a 1-yard sneak, and it's 7-6 West Allegheny, and a pretty good opening act 12-minute wise. Let's go down to Gary Sutton again and get Gary's thoughts. Not a bad start.
I'll tell you what, a great start and what's been an exciting game down here already tonight. And as I said earlier, Jed, you're just reminded of the word class when you watch these two teams. They do everything so well, both of them. And a great battle with the wide receiver spot out here, as you saw Hannum there. I'm reminded of Lynn Swan a little bit when you watch that kind of vision, that kind of concentration, trying to pull in a ball that was almost a sensational catch here. So it's been an entertaining first quarter. 7-6 right now. West Allegheny leads.
Mark, you've got some numbers, and they're about as even as the scoreboard right now.
Yeah.
This is the flow. We've got dimpled ballots here. What do you got?
Yeah, that's right. It's about as close as that presidential election. 7-6 the score. Well, West Allegheny, Strath Haven, total offensive numbers for both teams, 65 yards each. 37 rushing, 28 passing for West Allegheny. Strath Haven, 22 rushing yards, 43 passing.
Connor Gonna step back again. Good protection. Throws. It was tipped on the way through. I'm not sure who got his hand on it. May have been a blitzing Mike Craig. We'll have to see on the replay here. But again, it's 4th and 7, and Strath Haven's going to be forced to punt.
Mike Craig or Mike Lazor, not sure who, but
we'll find out here momentarily.
One of the linebackers coming in here. Mike Connor has his eyes on a receiver downfield, and boom, this guy right there.
It was Craig.
There it is once again. Yep, there's the
blitzing linebacker right there. So West Allegheny will be forced to punt. Palco there. Pretty good kick. They kick it away from him. Now it's going to take a hop up. You get a chance to return it. And down he goes at the 29-yard line. Excellent play on special teams by Jeff Milligan. Milligan, a 6-foot junior.
That's a real nice stick on special teams in the open field. Tyler Palco, a tremendous athlete. He could make things happen. You don't want to give him too much room, and Milligan really shut the door. That's a big team, big special teams play from the youngster.
We're talking to Phil Gross with Blue and White Illustrated and G&W Recruiting, one of the top recruiting services in the country. And he says Tyler Palco, Evan Crakey at Lakeland, that they're just 2 of 6 quarterbacks that are very much on the Division I radar screen. They'll be among the pantheon programs in the country coming after them. As Palco steps under center. Little power football here, and now Fitzgerald gets into the clear. Past the 40, he's got a first down. He's got about 12 or 13 yards. Before he's brought down by Josh Hannum. And again, West Allegheny running very well, and they say their offensive line, the best shape it's been in all year long health-wise.
Well, sure, look at the size of that hole that Jamie A. Fitzgerald runs through. And look at the power here. He just puts his head down and nails Josh Hannum. But, hey, give Hannum credit. He stuck with him and made the tackle. Big football collision down here. This is football right here. Hannum sticks with him and brings down Fitzgerald after a first down run. Fitzgerald
averaging 6.3 yards a carry all year long. He's noted it 185 times. There's another one. He just flies to the 45, a gain of only 2. Tackle is made in there for Strath Haven. It's made by Ben Hobson.
Here you go. There you see.
That's not bad considering what we just saw happen to Ben Hobson. He got the tackle. It looked like he was clearly blocked there, Mark.
Yeah, that's right.
So 2nd and 8 now at the 45.
Now you got 3 wideouts.
There's Trushillo right there. That's one of the guys we're isolating for you tonight. The motion man is Slappy. They give it to him on one of those quick handoffs. Nothing doing. Sean Gray gobbles him up. Maybe lost a yard. Hannum's around there, but this is what I mean about Sean Gray. This guy laterally, you don't do anything north-south because he's a difference maker there. He has got speed and then some.
He was moving faster than Slappy was down that line of scrimmage, and he turned the corner, made a big play defensively. Sean Gray, number 19, linebacker, Strath Haven.
3rd and 9. This will be a interesting call, but again, this is what West Allegheny could not do against the wind last year. 3rd and 9, it was so difficult. Tonight, the sticks are silent. It's beautiful out. Play action again. Palco throws, pass caught, and breaking away is Slappy. Look out, across the 30 and slammed out at the 24-yard line. Big gain on the play and a first down. A 32-yard gain for Slappy, and here it is.
There you see Tyler Palco, left-handed quarterback. Slappy just does a square out to the sidelines. There he is. Boom. The coverage is there. Brian Moore almost made the play, but Slappy dances down the sidelines for 32 yards, and a big play for West Allegheny, taking it deep into Strath Haven territory. 1st and 10 at the 24.
Slappy with 10 touchdowns on the year. It's his 42nd catch. And West Allegheny here all of a sudden is at the Strath Haven 25-yard line after that 32-yard catch and carry from Palco to Slappy. And
right side of the line, West Allegheny looked like they
motion
jumped.
There, Mark?
I believe so.
Let's check in with the coach, Gary Sutton. I'm really impressed with what I've seen out of this West Allegheny offensive line, especially Adam Trushillo, number 79, the 290-pounder. He's got some pop tonight.
Absolutely, and especially when you figure he had a blown ACL early in the season and coming back from that. But I'm really impressed with Palco. One of the things to watch in this great quarterback is his eyes. You know, the great quarterbacks have the ability to control the field with their eyes. He looks it all over and then finds his target. That's something to watch here later on tonight.
Gary, real quick, I guess quarterbacks like point guards in your sport of interest, basketball, right?
Well, there's an old saying, the better your eyes, the smaller the court becomes. I would think that applies to the football field, too.
First and 15 after the penalty. Palco, quick drop, now play action, little fade route, got a man open, caught. It's Leonard, still alive, touchdown. Leonard is in the house. 30 yards, Palco to Chris Leonard. West Allegheny's up by a touchdown at 13-6. Conversion coming from Javarone.
Watch this, Palco pump fake, and it freezes the defenders. And Leonard stops, then goes again, continues on his route, and there's the pass right there on the numbers. Strath Haven defenders can't wrap him up, and that's a touchdown for West Allegheny. Great execution, great pump fake. And Chris Leonard, the wide receiver, did a great job in selling that pump fake downfield. Froze the defense.
Leonard's a guy that got back a few weeks ago. Javarone just pounds it through the uprights. Wow.
He's got a foot, doesn't he? Said he quit soccer in seventh grade. He's just a football player now. Here's this touchdown right now.
Again, Gary's talking vision, right? Beautiful look off.
Well, he set it up to the left, came back to the right, and like the people down at Manny's Wing Street Cafe in Grafton, where they usually meet on Thursday night, right now West Allegheny is going on the wing of one Mr. Tyler Palco. I think the coach is saying, hey, this kid can throw. I might go to this a little bit more often.
Mark, you know, the thing about Palco that's so impressive, we'll say this about Connor too, is that probably was his second read. That may have been the second hot guy there, and he looked off and went there.
Yeah, and he did. He checked off, and I'll tell you what, that pump fake really froze the defenders. And Chris Leonard did a nice job in freezing the defenders too and fighting into the play fake. It was executed perfectly. I'll tell you, Palco's got a tremendous arm. Nice soft pass.
There you're looking at Chris Leonard, the touchdown maker for West Allegheny. That was a bruising run after the catch. He had Connor and Moore all over him, and he still got it in there,
Yeah,
Mark.
he got sandwiched, and he still somehow made his way into the end zone. 14-6. The score. That's what it's all about in Hershey this year, this weekend.
Love that shot, gang.
Football.
That's good stuff right there.
Had a beautiful game.
Is that 70-1 you guys are playing with in the truck down there?
Special zoom lens for this weekend. We saw a great game between Southern Columbia and Rochester earlier today. Rochester defeated the Tigers to win the single A title.
See the foot swing through that. Long kicks, going to be Moore again for Strath Haven, and he starts the journey the other way. Little step around move and pound it down at the 25-yard line. West Allegheny keeping the speed in front. Tanner Larson with a tackle. Larson, only 5'7", but packs a wallop at 175 pounds. And here comes the Strath Haven offense. Big series for Strath Haven right now, Mark.
Yeah, as we look at that kick going downfield. Yeah, it is a big series. They scored on their first possession of the ball game, and they haven't done a whole lot since then, so they've got to get their offense back on track.
Here's Mulhern trying to solve something, nothing doing. Mike Hobbs is there with a tackle.
Looks like the West Allegheny defense is feeding off the success of the offensive unit. Here you see Hobbs making the play. It's coming right up the middle. Mulhern, nowhere to go. Look at all those white shirts around.
Well, this game of adjustments, obviously, and this is something that Strath Haven will be working on. They'll bring Steve Windsor back in. They alternate him and McGarity a lot out of the tight end position. No gain on that play after that great tackle by Hobbs. Moore, the motion man. Connor, play action. He can run the ball. He's underrated as a runner, but there's just nowhere to go right now, and he's down right back at the original line of scrimmage.
It was just great coverage by the West Allegheny defense. Couple of receivers sent out to the flats for Strath Haven, and the coverage, the linebackers were right on him. Nowhere for Connor to go, so he tried to take it upfield. West Allegheny right there to stop him.
Hobbs and Mixter in on the stop that time, fighting off blocks to keep Connor right where he started. 3rd and 10 now for Strath Haven. There's your time remaining in the third quarter. Calder in motion, they'll step back to throw. Connor looks, he's going to down the middle, look and hand him, got a step, goodbye, at the 20. Hello, 5, hello, end zone, touchdown, Strath Haven. 75 yards and Connor through a seed. Whoa.
League. And then, yeah, he has all kinds of time. And like I said, Josh Hannum, he's a 100-meter champ in the Central League. He gets 2 or 3 steps beyond the defense, and that ball was right on the money. 75 yards, Hannum into the end zone. A quick 3-play drive for Strath Haven. Just what the doctor ordered for Kevin Clancy, Strath Haven's coach. He wanted to see his offense get back into gear after a couple of...
So Strath Haven may have to burn a timeout. They're late getting out here, Mark. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, a couple of solid West Allegheny drives. Now Strath Haven's right back into this ball game on the board with a big 75-yard touchdown pass.
Now they're going to go for 2 to try and tie the game. Connor, play action, looks. He's got Moore wide open in there. They got converted. Boy, he looked off right. Moore was nobody home over there. Replay, 75-yard drive and a $1.30. That is just beautiful work right there on play action.
That sure was, I'll tell you. That was the athleticism of quarterback Mike Moore. Now here we're going to see that 75-yard touchdown, and we're going to see it from a different angle, from behind. And see if you can see Josh Hannum, the wideout, number 8, streaking downfield. He's running full bore. And this is a beautiful pass. Nice catch. Look at that. Right on his hands, in stride. Doesn't get any prettier than that.
That ball was in the air 55 yards, Mark.
And it hit him on the hands in stride. That is a pretty touchdown pass.
You know, I think they made the one pass that, you know, the 5 tips. I think he may have told him, throw it earlier. And that time, as offensive line gave him time. They may have been a conversation like that.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right, Jed, because what Mike Connor did there was he threw it early, and he threw it high, and he threw it far, and he said, you know, Josh, just run under it. This kid's a 100-meter champ in the Central League, so he's got pure speed. He can run under balls that may be overthrown for a normal receiver.
Well, you got to think Hannum comes back. Look, I can get open on this guy. Throw it earlier, throw it into a zone, and I'll fill that area. And I think that's what happened there. We're speculating, obviously, but I mean, that just was so brilliantly executed. You've got to think that they connected somehow. There's a big kickoff return by Fitzgerald. He wiggles out of there, and he almost busted loose. He got it all the way to the 35. Well, Fitzgerald, he's a short 5'9", 185-pounder, but man, he's coffee quick.
25-yard return. That was a beauty. I'll tell you what. I know we're not even at halftime, but this is shaping up to be one tremendous ball game. We're seeing a lot of players making big plays in a big ball game, and that's what a state championship game should look like. 14-14, 7:57 to go before the half.
They got a fast track in Hershey and a cooperating weatherman today, so they can really air it out. Palco going to hand off. Fitzgerald got a block to the outside, and he slowed down in a great play from behind by Pat Patel. Patel doesn't make that play. Never know where that could go.
Yeah, you never know. Pat Patel, number 55. He's a 6', 220-pound senior. Look at this. He shakes off his blocker and hangs with the runner, trips him up. I'll tell you what, you mentioned Hershey. And if there is one advantage, there's no advantage weather-wise. There's not any wind to speak of. But Strath Haven played right here, Hershey Park Stadium, last week against Manheim Central. Very similar conditions. It was cold. And very, very much like tonight. So Strath Haven, they've been on this field before in these exact same conditions.
Fitzgerald, 10 carries for 45 yards now as Palco steps back. Blitz is coming. He'll run out of there with it, and that's the advantage that Palco brings to the table. Close to a first down to the 45.
Well, Gary was talking about the quarterback's eyes, and that time the quarterback's eyes, Tyler Palco's eyes, got him out of a whole lot of trouble. Look here, the blitz is coming up the middle, right there. Palco sees a lane and gets out of it.
We got 2 coaches' sons tonight play at quarterback whose football IQs have got to be off the charts a little bit. They'll bring the chains across. Gives us an opportunity to visit with Gary Sutton down on the sideline. You staying warm, partner?
Oh, I'm staying plenty warm down here. It's easy to when you're watching a game like this. But, you know, you talk about Palco, not to overdo it. When you're 6'2", you can look over a lot of stuff. Palco has so much poise back there, looking over, knowing his options, and having that sixth sense to know when to get out of the pocket and start running. This guy is the whole package.
As is Connor is underrated. You know, Connor, we were talking about him early. Delaware, Rutgers, of course, Iowa's now involved.
He says he wants his criteria in choosing a college. He wants to go to a winning program, and he wants to go somewhere where he's going to play.
All of his brothers are at Delaware now, with the exception of one is at Boston College. There's Campbell. He flies to about the 48-yard line, and there's our microphones. We got a bunch of extra stuff. and you can really get a feel for the game. Here's Campbell again on the carry.
Yeah, the hole opens up initially, but then it's closed very quickly.
Pat Patel again.
Pat
He is
Patel.
all over.
I'll tell you what, Pat Patel out of the defensive tackle spot, number 55. Strath Haven's defense.
Well, they've only given up an average of 5 points per game in this 29-game winning streak.
Isn't that
And West
incredible?
Allegheny's knocked up 14 here in a quarter and a half.
I mean, this is a team that held Berwick to 7 points and shut out Mannheim Central. Talking about Strath Haven.
M minus 45 yards rushing. Play action. Palco strike down the middle. Tipped into the air. Almost intercepted by Connor. Slappy should have had that ball at the 37-yard line. And we got a flag down up near the 39-yard line, and it's roughing the quarterback against Strath Haven, the initial call.
Here we're going to see it. There's Tyler Palco back to throw, and you can see where the defenders were a good 4 or 5 yards away from Palco when he released that ball. Here we're going to get another look at it from the end zone. Palco back to throw. Passes off, and then right there.
Sean Gray knocked him down.
15-yard penalty, first down.
That's our referee, Dave Wiley, tonight. All those officials, too, here on Merritt. Great crew. There's Mr. Wiley.
Sean Gray coming in with a lot of speed from his defensive end spot.
That's a huge, huge penalty because Strath Haven was beginning to get their feet again defensively. This now moves it all the way down to the Strath Haven 38-yard line. Well, this is 3 possessions now for West Allegheny and 3 trips to the Strath Haven end of the field. Palco looks to be changing the play. Little quick hitters, got Slappy. Slappy, yards after the catch, step around, move to the 29-yard line, maybe to the 30, a gain of 8. It'll be second and short coming now for West Allegheny. Simple, safe route to run here with Slappy.
Quick drop from the quarterback, Palco. Slappy took a couple steps off the line. The cornerback, Moore, was giving Slappy a lot of cushion. Palco made the throw. Slappy turned it upfield a little bit, picked up 8 yards on the play.
There's your time remaining in this second quarter and what has been a brilliant football game so far. What a showcase for AAA. The East has dominated this bracket in recent years. Palco play action again as time. Gonna throw 50-50 ball up there and it's incomplete. Fans are wanting interference. Leonard covered like a glove by Brian Moore down there near the 5-yard line.
Chris Leonard, Brian Moore, these guys have been battling all night. Look at the play fake from Palco.
Selling it, isn't he?
He sure is. Throws a nice ball, too. And I'll tell you what, that is up there. Both receiver and defender made excellent plays. Brian Moore, Chris Leonard, both had a shot at the ball.
It must have taken that Strath Haven band 15 minutes just to get on the field.
8 buses brought him in.
And they are good.
They sure are.
It's going to be Campbell, I believe.
Great
He is
play.
tripped up. Oh, what a play by Cunningham. He may have a broken finger, but
Look at the heart.
He's playing full motor right now.
You know, a couple of kids on the Strath Haven football team say this number 45, the linebacker, Mike Cunningham, is the hardest hitter on the team. And, you know, there's some evidence of it. It wasn't a good, solid hit, but I'll tell you what, he took down a big Kellen Campbell very quickly. It was just a one-arm tackle right around the ankles.
So it's 4th and 1 right now for West Allegheny. Tyler Palco, we've got time to get to Gary Sutton right now while they debate things over. Gary?
About Cunningham, he broke that finger in the Berwick game, kept on playing. He had a pin in there, he had it removed. He's actually got fiberglass on there right now. It's wrapped up and then there's gauze on top of that. This kid's playing with some serious pain, but I don't think he's even noticing it so far tonight in this kind of game. Jed?
Yeah, Mike Cunningham, in fact, that big cast tipped a very key pass in the Mannheim Central game towards Dan Connor, the free safety. A big pick in that ball game. But yeah, Mike Cunningham, and in fact, the doctors weren't so sure that he'd be able to play in this particular ball game because they said when they removed the pin, if bones had shifted, they were not going to let him play. They removed the pin earlier in the week. Everything was okay, and he's got clearance to play.
West Allegheny, 154 total yards in this game. You go back to the Berwick game of 2 weeks ago when they held Berwick to just 51 yards rushing in the whole game, and they sacked quarterback Al West 6 times for losses of 43 yards in their 14-7 win. Last week, Mannheim Central did move the ball on Strath Haven, but when it got to the short field, Strath Haven toughened up.
Well, you know, Mannheim Central, a very prolific offense here in the East. And I'll tell you, you know, to shut out a team that, well, racked up 51 points in the PIAA quarterfinal game against Selinsgrove. I mean, that's saying something. So this Strath Haven defense is all it's advertised to be. There's no question about that.
Ball at the 30 here. It's 4th and 1. Nothing subtle about this baby. Campbell, first down, a lot more, and rumbles to the 24-yard line, a gain of 6. Tackle is made by Dan Connor.
Well, I think Jim Connor and the Strath Haven defensive unit probably expecting something inside. Kellen Campbell, West Allegheny, they kick it outside. It's the 9th play coming up in this particular drive.
Well, they put Mulhern in a phone booth there. They sealed him off. That was a good kick out, so it's a first down now at the 24-yard line. There's your time remaining as you look at Tyler Palco come to the line of scrimmage. No back set right now. Boy, they're showing a whole different variety of looks. Let's see, Palco, play action, rolling out, looking to buy time. Might keep it himself, does, and got hammered right before he stepped out of bounds at about the 22. It was close. And a couple of sideline folks get tumbled down.
Here you see big Mike Cunningham, Sean Gray chasing Palco out of bounds.
Gary, you made a right move there, buddy, because you were just down there for your last report where he went out.
I had a chance to get in on the tackle on that play. I'm glad I got out of the way. But I'll tell you what, it was great to watch Palco running back because he grabbed hold of Chris Leonard, number 10, and said, if you'd thrown a block, I'd have gotten 5 more yards out of that, partner.
Intensity high for this game. There he is, a junior. This is the 11th play of this drive already now for West Allegheny on 2nd and 9. Palco back, got time, got a man, throws, intercepted by Connor at the 11-yard line. He had a pair of them last week against Manheim Central. He's got one tonight to stall a West Allegheny drive.
One of the best freshmen in the entire state of Pennsylvania, Dan Connor. Big play out of the safety spot. Palco looking at the intended receiver the whole way. Doesn't take his eyes off of him. Just an ill-advised throw right into the arms of Connor, the free safety. Chris Leonard, the intended receiver, makes the tackle. Big play for Strath Haven's defense.
Their MO, man. They're plus 14 coming into this in the postseason only.
That's what I was going to say. Just ask Manheim Central about how that feels. They did that a couple of times last week.
Now they're going to make something happen on offense. Here's Mulhern breaking into the clear. First down to the 24-yard line. He rips off 12.
He runs behind that left side of that line, talking about Pat Patel, Mike Scarpatago. Look at this. These guys clearing out big blocks. It's left to Tyler Palco, the safety, to make the stop, or else, I'll tell you what, John Mulhern would have rambled a lot further.
That's only the 3rd first down for Strath Haven. Now, granted, they're using long distance to get to the end zone. Here's Connor, play action. He can run. Gets to the corner. He's still alive. First down again to the 38-yard line. All right. So it looks like he's running downhill. And it's not the most aesthetic look, but it's effective, and it's good enough to move the chain.
I'll tell you what, he does a couple of things real well here. You know, he reads his block very well, cuts to the inside of the intended tackler. Now he does a pump fake, freezes a defender, shakes a tackler right here, and then he's off down the sidelines. Picks up another couple of yards by sidestepping another tackler. I'll tell you what, that is real good football instincts from the veteran quarterback, Mike Connor.
Timeout was used. Gary Sutton, you're right down there with a conversation. We've got an injury over by you.
Got an injury. I'm trying to get the number right here. I think we got the wind knocked out for the moment. They're checking him very quickly, and tonight's not a night you want to get the wind knocked out. It's very cold.
Mike Craig down by you there for West Allegheny. Am I right about? Yeah, number 2 is who
exactly.
we got. Okay, it is Mike Craig. Again, Gary, we've had this conversation in years gone by. The one thing, and it's hopefully he's getting up, but I must say, when we point this out to fans, the medical staff and the way they safety concerns for the players, it's just top shelf now.
If there's been a change in sports in high school in the last 20 years, Jed, it's been the fact that medical staffs have gone 100% in the right direction. And, of course, sports medicine, a major part of what we do, not only in the collegiate level and pro level, but now down to the high school level, and one of the great changes and positive changes in the game in high school athletics.
And Dr. Mike Cordes, saw him earlier. He's been to so many championship events with the PIAA. So, again, it's good to see Mike Craig. It's a hard-hitting football game on a cold Friday night in December. Stakes high. Championship at stake. So back-to-back first down runs. Here's Mulhern again, and he slams his shoulder forward, and they've put him out at about the 41-yard line. Gary, you got something else?
It's interesting when you watch this team open up the game, Strath Haven that is, they had such good pace on that 6-play opening drive for a touchdown. Then they seemed to lose it for about 3 series. They came back with a big bomb, and since then they seem to have rediscovered their pace. They're mixing it up very, very well again. They seem to be back in quite a rhythm.
Then again, they might be baiting you a little bit too. Just kind of run, Mark, and then boom.
Yeah, well, we saw
the swing for the fences here.
We saw the effectiveness of that Connor Hannum hookup.
They go play action again. Looking downfield. Ooh, a little bit too much strength on that for Brian Moore.
Moore had a step. Good route. Nice play.
That stops the clock with 2:27 left, as you can see.
Once again, the play action to Mulhern. Connor back there has his man. Throws a dart just beyond the reach of Brian Moore.
He'll shuffle Jeff Milligan into the game.
He probably thought he was throwing to Mark Jones once again. Mark Jones absolutely dominated this game last year for Strath Haven. A very fast wide receiver that is now at the University of Tennessee. We'll tell you how he dominated that game last.
Connor under the gun. He's going to get hit. He's dropped, sacked. Adam Trishilla has got him. I think that's Trishilla. It is Matt Gray, rather. Matt Gray on the sack.
There looks like might be a hold right there, but they're going to let that one go. But
take the sack and get the ball back. 4th and 10. So underneath 2 minutes here. But West Allegheny, 3 timeouts left, so they have plenty of time. They're just taking their time. And him to kick, really gets it to turn over. And drives Palco back to his own 19. Tries to split the deal and gets it up to about the 29. So decent field position here for West Allegheny, Mark, to try and get something before halftime. And keep in mind, Derek Javarone, their kicker, they could extend to about 50. They'd love it if it was 40 and in, if that's the option there.
I'll tell you what, Strath Haven got a pretty nice punt when they needed one, too. With a minute 37 to go, they didn't want to give West Allegheny too good a field position. 43-yard punt, 10-yard return.
So it's 14-14 game. You've got all you need right on your screen right there. Delighted to have you here on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. Pennsylvania's home of champions now at all the PIAA championship events. Delayed handoff, Fitzgerald, and he got hammered.
Oh, my goodness.
Pat Battelle, and I think Cunningham was on the scene as well. Whoa.
This is a collision. This looks like a train wreck right here. Here comes Pat Battelle, number 55, right there.
That's Sean Gray, too.
That is.
Sean's probably still got a toot over that roughing the passer call.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
How does he not fumble in that?
That is one heck of a stick.
I mean, how do you not fumble when you're not expecting 2 guys like that to just absolutely crush
I'll tell you.
your deal?
See Pat Patel's uniform. He's in a football game.
I'll go with Kellen Campbell. He steps through. Pretty good run by Campbell because he did most of it on his own to the 35.
Yeah, he sure did. He made something out of nothing. He sidestepped a couple of tacklers, picked up about 3 yards on the play. Watch this. Sidesteps 1 tackler. And there's Mike Cunningham trying to get him while he's pancaked on the ground with his
down to 30
injured
seconds.
arm.
I think West Allegheny might be content.
Yeah, they're letting it go.
West Allegheny 1 for 4 on 3rd down. Looking, as you can see, 3rd and 5 as we'll do it from the end zone. Now back up top for you. Palco, they're going to hand it off to Campbell again. He's rumbling for a first down to the 45-yard line. We'll see if they use a timeout. Now they do with 8 seconds left.
Well, you know, that's not a bad strategy. Get it out to midfield and then give your strong-arm quarterback maybe a chance to gun it into the end zone or towards the end zone for a Hail Mary type.
It's the same
Nice
thing.
draw.
I don't think they wanted to turn the ball over down there. I think that was what that was all about.
Mike Connor on the tackle.
I think Bob Palco still thinking about that interception a little bit. Let's check in with Gary. Gary, if you see a turnover like that, you got to drive. I mean, does that stick on your mind as a coach?
Well, I think it sticks in your mind a little bit, and right now you're making a decision to maybe stick with the ground game here, but who knows? You got 8 seconds to go. Maybe take one last chance, try to go for the bomb. You got Slappy out there. He's a heck of a receiver. They'll see if they can take it up there maybe, but I would be surprised at this point. I think you're going to be content here in the first half to go 14-14 to the locker room.
Been a great first half. We've got a menagerie of big plays. Josh Hannum, a 75-yard touchdown catch for Strath Haven that tied this game. And
well, this
Joe
is what
Slappy's had a big play, as has Chris Leonard, a 30-yard touchdown catch.
This is what a state championship football game should look like. Big players making big plays in a big game. It's exactly what we've seen thus far. That kid's going to be a big player. Number 40, Dan Connor, just a freshman.
There's Palco. Tried to get a stop and go move, and he fell down at the 4 seconds left. So they'll have one more shot at it. Not sure if he might take a knee there. He's looking to do a stop and go route with Slappy, and it just didn't develop, and they'll let the clock wind out as they reset it, and that'll do it. Well, very entertaining opening half. 14-14 our score. We'll gather some statistics. We'll show you the first half highlights, of which there are many options, in a very entertaining AAA game. You are watching exclusive coverage of the 2000 PIAA Football Championships. This is the Pennsylvania Cable Network, and we're back in Hershey after this.
What we're going to see here, Palco airs it out. Chris Leonard behind the defense, makes the catch and survives the hit, gets sandwiched by 2 defenders, dives into the end zone, and West Allegheny, with their second touchdown, takes the lead. The lead was short-lived. Mike Connor comes back, and watch the beautiful pass and catch. He hits his receiver in stride. It's Josh Hannum. Look at this, right on the hands. That ball went 75 yards for a touchdown, about 55 yards of that in the air, as Mike Connor and Josh Hannum hook up for a beautiful touchdown pass. The 2-point conversion was good, and that is where we stand, folks. 14-14, a tremendously entertaining first half of football in the AAA PIAA championship game.
Indeed, it is a football festival. It is developing that here in year number 3 back in Hershey. They've done a brilliant job, and our Gary Sutton is with the Associate Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Athletic Association, Dr. Bob Lombardi. Gary?
I'm almost afraid to call him Dr. Robert Lombardi. He's so official here, but he is the Associate Executive Director. More importantly, Bob, you are one of the guys really making this happen here tonight. You've got to be excited. It's an electric atmosphere here this evening.
Oh, it's great. Great teams, great fans, great bands. It's just the epitome of athletic competition.
You know, Bob, when you watch the game out here and you're standing on the sideline, you get a whole different perspective as far as the officials, too. You know, so much preventative officiating going on, talking to the players all the time, staying one step in front. I think that's so important. That's one of the areas you're concerned about.
Oh, absolutely. And we try to educate our people to do those things. And we have good people out there. They've been in the athletic arena. They know how to talk to kids. They know how to handle players, and they're experienced. They've been evaluated. We move them on, and we're really proud of them, and as well as for the teams and the coaches and the players.
You guys are working on championships all the time. I guess it never really gets old. Every game kind of takes on its own identity.
It sure does. And when different teams come in different communities and they have different needs or requests, it's always fresh, and it's wonderful.
So unusual to get 2 teams matched up again that were here last year. And the excitement, and I don't think it's revenge, I think just the excitement of being here and across the field from each other again seems to add a little bit of a special luster to this evening.
Oh, absolutely. And as you can tell by the first half, it's very closely contested. And this baby might go down to the mire, where we might see our first overtime.
Now, they tell me here, Bob, that you're in charge of the weather. You've done a great job this weekend. I think Brad said he can up your paycheck now because you've, basically given us a good weekend here in December.
Well, Brad has a litmus test that if my bald head is white, that it's going to be clear.
Now, the other thing you got to like is the excitement of the fans. We got a group here behind us, seniors from Strath Haven, Bob, that are just absolutely having a great time. I think that's what it's all about this weekend.
Great atmosphere, both sides, West Allegheny, Strath Haven, great fans. We're really glad to be here.
And one last thing, streaming video for the first time. You guys have entered the high-tech age here at PIAA.
Webcasting, we'd like to thank WITF, InvestNet Technologies. It's the way to go.
PCN, and we're going to head back upstairs to Jed. Jed, streaming video everywhere you look, and streaming excitement as well.
All right, there's Gary Sutton with Dr. Bob right there. And yes, Joel Bechtel is at the tilt. There he is, right there. He's our executive producer, ladies and gentlemen. He does a great job. Speaking of overtime, looking at it, there have only been 2. You and I were at both. 1990 Hanover over Canevin Catholic, 20-19, and then the epic Mount Carmel and Forest Hills in double overtime back at Mansion Park in Altoona in 1994, 20-14. And who knows where we could be. That's right, we are streaming video. You can find it PIAA.org. www. obviously, PIAA.org.
I'll tell you what
right now we're 14-14. Good football game.
Yeah, that's right. This is a great game to be on the information superhighway. Download this baby, burn it on a CD, whatever. Watch it later. This is going to be a beauty.
Well, how about that? 2 completions, but here's Mike Connor, not Mike Connor. We're looking right there at Zach Love, 295-pounder. And I don't know, they're jumping to stay warm, but it is a beautiful evening here in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Kevin Stump's going to drop by a little bit in the 3rd quarter. We'll talk about how much preparation goes into putting an event on of this kind. Well, let's talk keys here in the 2nd half. Why don't we get down to it? You got a feeling out process. I think if you're Strath Haven, pound it a little bit and then look for the big one with Hannum again, because I don't think Slappy can handle him one-on-one.
Well, that's right, and I agree with you. And I think both teams are basically sticking with their keys. I think Coach Bob Palco of West Allegheny, he's going to probably try to spread it around a little bit more. He's going to go deep. He's going to let his son, Tyler Palco, take control of this ball game. But also, he's not going to forget about his 2 1,000-yard rushers, Kellen Campbell and Jamie Fitzgerald. So I think for West Allegheny, keep on keeping on. Defensively, yeah, you got to contain Mike Connor. And I agree with you. Josh Hannum could be a very big problem for West Allegheny. His pure speed, he has the ability to get behind the defense. And Mike Connor, you saw that beautiful 75-yard pass. Mike Connor can put the ball on the money from anywhere on the field. So that is a dangerous combination that Coach Bob Palco of West Allegheny is really going to have to keep in check in the 2nd half.
Well, let's take a look at WA, right? The Indians here. I say just stay with what you're doing right here.
Yeah.
I like the way they were mixing the bag here in that 1st half. I would say continue same.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think keep on keeping on if you're West Allegheny, and same with Strath Haven. I think both these guys are playing within their game, and it's just, as was predicted, this is an even matchup, and we've got 2 very good football teams, evenly matched football teams, going head-to-head. I go back to my keys initially in the game, and the keys for both teams, especially West Allegheny, no turnovers. You can't commit a turnover because Strath Haven, they simply do not commit turnovers. They do not make many mistakes at all. They haven't throughout the year. They haven't in the playoffs. And I would tend to believe that they will probably not make many mistakes in the 2nd half of this ball game. So if you're West Allegheny, a turnover could be the big difference in this ball game. You have to not make any turnovers, refrain from turnovers in the 2nd half.
Well, this bracket, AAA, has been dominated by the East. They're 10-2 in this game, and the last Western team to break through was Erie Strong Vincent against Conestoga Valley back in 1991. And the other winner was Perry against Berwick back in 1989. And, you know, there's been no WPIAL champ from AAA, and that could change. West Allegheny is right here in a pick'em game at halftime.
Absolutely, and we told the story prior to the game when these 2 teams were on this field last year and Strath Haven was the state champion. He looked at Coach Kevin Clancy of Strath Haven, looked across at the West Allegheny sideline and said, I think these guys are coming back here next year, meaning West Allegheny, the Indians. He wasn't so sure about his club, but here they are. But West Allegheny, they're loaded, and I'll tell you what, it's a very talented club. This is, like I said, 2 evenly matched teams. It's going to be a whale of a game in the 2nd half.
Let's go down to Gary Sutton, who's now done with his interviewing, parking himself at the 30-yard line over on the Strath Haven side. Gary, let's dip into the coach speak here a little bit. Talk to me about Kevin Clancy and Strath Haven. What might be the MO there a little bit?
Well, I think for Strath Haven, you're going to kind of maybe tighten that zone up a little bit. Tyler Palco found some pretty good holes there the 1st half. He missed on a couple of passes, but I think that's going to be a concern for Kevin Clancy. There's been a great chess match so far between the 2 coaches, as well as great players stepping up in the game. So I think on that side, you're going to look to maybe tighten that zone up. On the other side, if you're over there with Coach Clancy, you're saying, hey, let's find some holes there, Tyler. We're letting you go with your arm a little bit tonight. Just keep a little bit of pace with that that ball. Don't try to rush it. Take your time, and we're going to go home on your wings.
Got a good first half. Let's keep it up. A
been
little
great
less on the
balance
lip.
so far.
Okay, we're starting to pick up a little bit as the half ended, so we're going to have to reel that in a little bit. Talk to your guys. We've already talked to your head coaches. They're working with us. Guys, we can't tolerate that. Okay? Somebody gets up, don't give him guns, don't give him nothing, help him up. Okay? Okay. When we threw the coin, you called it lost, they had a choice, it's your choice now. You want the ball, which way you want to go? You want to defend the board. Spin around, man.
Hey, there you saw a great example.
White.
Dave Wiley's the referee right there.
Take it here.
And that's some preventative refereeing. He saw that maybe
Remember, guys,
things were getting a
you're
little
in charge
chippy.
here. Work with
Little
us.
chippy on the field. So he warned these guys, warned the captains prior to the second half of play, hey, we don't want to throw a 15-yard flag on you guys. Come on. Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it above board.
Gary, you like officials that, one, are going to tell you exactly where you stand, right?
Right there, exactly what we were talking with Bob Lombardi about at halftime. Guys that want to let the players decide the game out here. Officials get wrapped on a lot of times, but in this case, the officials are doing a great job of letting the players have a chance to decide the game here, and that's the kind of thing we talked about at halftime. Championship officials in a championship game being played at a high caliber.
Strath Haven says we'll defend the board. Gary, you're down there. I mean, the wind is really not a factor, is it?
Not a factor at all. You couldn't have a better night here to display all of your talents on both sides. It's going to be a wonderful second half. I don't know how they can improve on the first half, but we'll find out momentarily.
I think they just might. Fitzgerald and Campbell will drop deep. You're looking at Kellen Campbell there. He's the 6-foot junior. Well, these two teams have played in pen of pressure before, and they've played with a big target on their back. Strath Haven with a 29-game winning streak. West Allegheny, one loss in 2 years. That came earlier in the regular season against Thomas Jefferson as Campbell starts the other way. He's got positive yardage to about the 31-yard line, and that's where West Allegheny will start this third quarter right here.
First play of the second half, and boy, you could hear the pads popping. Not only are the pictures absolutely fabulous from the crew at WITF, but you hear the audio. And it sounds like you're right down there on the field with Kellen Campbell and inside the huddle with West Allegheny. Excellent job, guys.
Again, we are streaming this on video at PIAA.org as well. Handoff, Campbell, quick burst up the middle, and he's got about 6 or 7 yards. They are getting great thrust on that offensive line. I can understand West Allegheny talking about the fact their offensive line playing the best it has all year now.
Look at the hole that opens up right here. That's DeLucia opening up the hole. Clay Martin, Priscilla's an absolute load, and as Gary and Mark have pointed out, sat out much of the year with an anterior cruciate ligament in his knee. He's back. Falco's back, looking under the gun. Mattel had his foot. He steps out of that. He's still in deep trouble, and he goes out right along the boundary. Cunningham was chasing as well over there, and Palco did everything in his power, try not to lose yardage, but he did all the way back at about the 26-yard line. I don't know if someone missed a block or what, but defensive tackle Pat Patel comes right in here, number 55. Almost has Palco sacked. Just a tremendous athletic ability from Palco got away from Patel. And then there's that Mike Cunningham once again out of his linebacker spot, basically knocking Palco out of bounds.
There's Patel right there. These linebackers for Strath Haven are an absolute knockout.
Look at that, rip on the jersey. He's been in a tough ball game.
He looks like a PA guy, doesn't he? Palco back again on 3rd and 16. Down the middle, Slappy had it and dropped it at the 46. Can't throw a better ball, and you can there. Palco on the money.
Yeah.
Slappy let it slip through there.
And he knows. That's the second time he's dropped one that's hit him on the hands. It is a cold night, and Palco does throw a real hard ball. Look at this. This thing is really, really thrown hard, but yeah, Slappy found a hole in the zone. He went right behind the linebackers. Palco found his intended receiver. The ball was just dropped.
One is in the air. They're kicking away from Hannum, and it goes out of bounds at the 45. Splendid field position here for Strath Haven. The Panthers starting at their own 45. Mike Connor talking to Kevin Clancy.
Mike Connor's like a coach on the field. Like you mentioned, Jed, he is a coach's kid. Defensive coordinator Jim Connor, he's got 2 boys on this club. Dan Connor, free safety, and sometimes running back, and quarterback Mike Connor.
They got another brother at Boston College playing for Tom O'Brien up there. Here we go with Strath Haven. First series, here's Brian Moore, got the outside, cuts in, has 5 or 6. All the way to the West Allegheny 49-yard line.
Well, that's a nice run, and I'll tell you what, I think
Mike
you're
Hobbs got him.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a good seal block over here on the left side. That's Pat Patel once again. And John Mulhern out there leading the charge. A couple of nice blocks on the left side of that line.
So 2nd and 5. Strath Haven looking to get a stub run game established. Here's Mulhern, got a first down, has 5, has 10 to the 39. Love and Battelle blew that open for Strath Haven up front.
They're going to see it again. Kind of a delayed handoff. And there you see the good vision of a running back. John Mulhern cut it to the outside where he saw some open spaces, picked up a first down.
Moore again, cutback move. Moore, positive yardage. Big hit at the 33, but he's got 7 yards. Palco up on the stop for West Allegheny.
I tell you what, there's a great block here by offensive lineman Pat Patel. Once again, it's right over there. And Moore had the presence of mind to make the cutback into the open spaces and pick up more positive yardage.
Tight end Steve Windsor and McGarity some credit. Quick handoff, Mulhern got through the first line. Mulhern still alive for another first down to the 29-yard line. Big block up front by Scarpignato, the 6', 275-pound senior.
I'll tell you what, the Strath Haven offensive line has come out of this locker room fired up.
Now they say short by a yard, maybe a half yard. Yeah, the field goal kicker, Schoenman, is warming up on the sideline. Strath Haven would like to get to the end zone. This time they go to Mulhern, and I believe he nudges for the first down. Gary Sutton, you're down there a little bit. Is he in?
I think he's got the first down right now.
Okay, we're going to see it again
by about
up
a
here.
ball.
Yeah, he's in
It's going to be close. It was that second effort from Mulhern that got him there. He was hit initially at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're going to measure. It was, he got through a Trishilla.
Got through Churchilla. Kellen Campbell also put a hat on him.
Brian Mixter, who's been all over the place for West Allegheny. I got to think he's in. First down. Let's go down to Gary. Gary, you're on it.
He's got the first down here, I think, by about half a football.
They stretched it, and there it is. Good coverage again. WITF production crew. We've been together a long time. I believe this is our 9th tournament together, and just a fabulous job as always, and great working with everybody again. You are looking live at the Hershey Park Stadium. We're in the 3rd quarter in a 14-14 game here on the Pennsylvania Cable Network. Here's Calder. Does he have room to the outside? Yeah, he's got the quarter. Got 5, got 10, all the way to the 18-yard line. We haven't heard much from Calder, but he's that change-up back, Mark. Hiccup, quick to the outside.
Yeah, that's right. You got the bruising style of Mulhern inside, and then all of a sudden you go to a guy like Mike Calder on the outside, and you get him some open spaces. If he's able to turn the corner as he is on Joe Slappy here, he's going to pick up a first down. That's a nice change of pace shown by Strath Haven's offensive unit.
I believe that's only his 3rd carry of the football game, so he's fresh. Joe Calder again, this time goes inside, he's got positive yardage. He's still flying around inside the 5 to the 4. It's a gain of 15 yards, and it was mostly Calder, the final 10 of them.
It sure was. No quitting this kid. Watch this. Quick handoff, follows a great block by Mulhern right there. Another good block onto the right side.
Rob Gladwin, too.
Steve Windsor, the tight end out there.
Handoff, Mulhern to the 1-yard line. 14-14, 8:20 counting to go in this 3rd quarter as Strath Haven knocking on the door, looking to get the lead again. Here's Big Mulhern. He's going to the University of Delaware. 4 brothers played in the program before him. They were all captains. 5 Mulherns, 5 captains. 2nd and goal at the 1 for Strath Haven. Quick handoff, Mulhern, touchdown, Strath Haven, a 9-play march. Their first time they get the ball in the 3rd quarter, and they've got the lead again at 20-14. And they're 4,000 fans that made the trip. There's Mulhern with the touchdown.
Well, nothing fancy about this play. John Mulhern running behind the base.
9-play, 55-yard drive, and they only took 2 minutes and 58 seconds, and they did it all on the ground. Their offensive line dominated. Mulhern is in for the touchdown. The kick by Schoenman is good. 21-14, and we've got Kevin Stump with us, the general manager of the Hershey Park Stadium. Let's take a look at this touchdown run again, Mark.
Well, like I said, nothing fancy, just right off the tackle, busts into the end zone from 1 yard out. That's the thing about Strath Haven. You know, they can throw whatever you want at them. You know, we saw the speed of a Mike Calder. We saw the bruising power of a John Mulhern. It's very effective. We saw the blazing speed of Josh Hannum and the effectiveness of Mike Connor at quarterback. Very difficult offense to stop.
Hey, Kevin, how you doing?
Good, Jed. How are you?
All right, we got Kevin Hott here. Great atmosphere tonight. I mean, this is what it's all about.
Exactly. This is high school sports at its best.
Kevin Stump is with us, the general manager, on our third microphone up here. And, well, what do you think? It has turned out to be, is this plugged in? Yeah, it's in, I think. All right, he is on. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, there you go.
There
Anyway,
I am.
You ordered the no-win thing, right?
That's it. I ordered 2 days of it.
Stay up here for a little bit, visit this kickoff here. Kevin was on yesterday during our simulcast, talking about things. Fitzgerald going to start the other way. This guy's a home run hitter if he can get a crack. 30, still going about the 37-yard line, where he is brought down by Calder of Strath Haven. Kevin, you wanted to create a bowl atmosphere. This is the third year it's been back. Obviously, it's going well. You've got big crowds expected tomorrow and another big gate here tonight.
Yeah, it's third year, like you said, and we are trying to create a whole weekend bowl atmosphere. The families can come down here and spend an entire weekend and just making it electric.
There's Kevin right there, and George Zurich, our staff man, up here in our booth. So you get up here, you get some FaceTime. They only want to hear us. That's all they
I would have
want.
fixed my hair if I would have known it was TV time.
Handoff's going to be Fitzgerald. He's sliding forward. You can hear him pop. Nice yardage up to about the 44. He's got about 8. This is a good football player right here. Fitzgerald, he's low to the ground at 5'9", but he packs a wallop here, Mark.
Yeah, better than 1,100 yards rushing this season. Look at that spin move. He doesn't quit running. Tell you what, eyes focused forward, spun around, and that, I'll tell you what, he didn't get a whole lot of blocking out in front of him. He got most of that yardage on his own. Pickup of 8, it'll be 2nd and 2.
Boy, they're getting 7, 8 yards on first down. They really dominated that stat in the first half. Here's Fitzgerald, drags Mulhern across for a first down up near about the 47 or 48 yard line. This year, Kevin, you sold tickets for both sessions, so one ticket got you in both games, right?
You can't beat that. You know, one ticket, 2 games, 2 outstanding games so far today.
Obviously, we talked yesterday, and for our audience tonight, Hershey does want to make a long-term commitment. The new Giant Center coming for all the sports, so you can get in here.
We clearly want to make it the destination for all high school championships in Pennsylvania.
The road to Hershey right now, West Allegheny trailing Strath Haven 21-14. Last year they lost 21-7 in this game. First carry of the night for Mike Laser. Laser, a 5'8" senior. Well, Strath Haven, again, it's a bend but break don't philosophy on defense.
Well, now the West Allegheny offensive line is starting to get active. We're talking about Matt Gray, Adam Drusilla, Mike Hobbs. These guys are starting to open up some holes for their running backs. There's Mike Hobbs, the center. Tyler Palco, the fine junior quarterback.
2nd and 4 for West Allegheny. In motion is Rojas, the tight end. They haven't looked for him tonight yet. Rojas, pretty good player. Kellen Campbell bounces off one stack into another pile, and the wash catches up with him at about the 43-yard line. He's going to be about 2 or 3 yards shy of a first down. You got Candy Lane open. Alabama's over at the arena tonight. Where are you parking everybody? You got
any place we can.
You got a lot going on tonight.
I'm running back and getting a lot of mileage on my shoes tonight, I'll tell you that.
this field, right? How many events have you had on this field so far this year? Just catch everybody up.
125 events from April when we started with the Olympic qualifying tournament here, and we've had 125 events through this weekend.
And you'll work on the track tonight too, won't you?
We'll be here, crew will be all night long working on this, getting ready for the 2 games tomorrow.
What a fabulous job, I know, by your crew. Palco steps back, looks, throws, got a man, there he is again, it's Leonard. He's been the most dependable receiver, and he's got 19 yards down to the 26-yard line, and it's a first down for West Allegheny, and they're on the move.
Once again, Tyler Palco finds a seam in this zone of Strath Haven. There's Chris Leonard right behind the linebackers, finds that seam. First down play.
So who's going to win? You're just going to sit back and enjoy. This is a track meet right now.
It's incredible. All 4 games last year were incredible. Starting off with the single-A game was incredible, and this one looks like it's going to go down to the wire.
West Allegheny trying to answer that punch that Strath Haven just threw. Here's Campbell, big hole. Rumbles to the 20. Got a good block up there by Clay Martin.
And Matt Gray, watch the hole that opens up here. You're going to see it right here. Look at this hole. Amazing. Matt Gray, 210-pound senior. Manny Rojas, good blocking tight end. He's just a junior. He helped out there as well.
So 125 events, and this field's still cooking. Cooking strong, isn't it?
That's what it's made to do. I mean, that was our plan when we put it in 1997.
There's Campbell. Cuts back, not going to get there. It's going to be 3rd and short as he got across the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Windsor in on the stop, also there, John Mulhern. We got to think Mulhern's up around 11 tackles. At the break, he had 7, 5 unassisted tackles.
You're very close. 12 tackles for Mulhern, 9 of them unassisted. Number 33, he's been all over your screen. He's been in the end zone as an offensive player, scored the last touchdown of the ball game. There he is. He's played one whale of a ball game. 12 tackles thus far, and oh yeah, he just scored the go-ahead touchdown.
Go back set as Palco steps back. He can run though. Palco trying to get outside. He's got a first down. Got more. Head down to the 9. A gain of 10.
Oh boy, I'll tell you, Joe Slappy was wide open in the middle of the field. And now Slappy's coming over to talk to Tyler Palco about that. Palco drops back. No one in the backfield. He's got 4 wideouts.
Look at that block by Trishilla, 79. Whoa.
Yeah. And he takes off for some open spaces. But I'll tell you what, in the middle of the field, Joe Slappy, number 7 for West Allegheny, there wasn't a man within 7 or 8 yards of him.
Well, just so you know, Kevin, we haven't had overtime in any game since 1994, so we might see the first one here.
That'd be okay with me.
We'll explain that procedure if necessary. And off Fitzgerald, can he get the corner? He's at the 5, head down to the 2. Power, tough run between the chalk there by Fitzgerald, and they're knocking on the door.
That was a good, smart tackle by Josh Hannum, too. Comes in, tackles him low at the ankles. Because I'll tell you, Fitzgerald had a big head of steam. Hannum came in, made the stop, or else he's in.
Kevin, final question for you. Kevin Stump, general manager here. How many people you have working this weekend to put this whole 2-day deal together?
We probably have, we go in shifts, but probably close to 200 people will coming in and working for us between securities and ushers.
Here's Fitzgerald trying to get outside. Mulhern's got him, and he's to the 1-yard line. Well, Kevin, I congratulate you on just a job well done, and we really appreciate, you know,
they may have
everything
fumbled
you've
this
done.
football.
They're not calling it, though. They're saying it's the ground, having a look at it. He's down.
That's close.
It's close, but he's down. They had the right angle. So, Kevin, thank you so very much.
I appreciate it. Anytime. You
All right.
guys do a great job. We always love having you here.
Stop up and visit tomorrow.
I will. I'll be back.
All right. Thank you. Kevin Stump, general manager
Take
with
care,
the Hershey
Kevin.
Park Stadium and Arena. So 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Here's West Allegheny sneaking. Palco behind the big center. Touchdown. West Allegheny. That big center, Mike Hobbs, having a whale of a night up there for West Allegheny. That's the 2nd time he's blown the door open in there.
Yeah, and then once again, looks like Tyler Palco could have probably run another 10 yards the way that offensive line was moving. Anyway, Tyler Palco is 2nd touchdown of the ball game. came from the same spot in the field as his first one. 1 yard sneak.
11 play, 64-yard drive, 6 minutes, 22 seconds. Javerone on for the conversion to try and tie this game. We have 1 minute and 35 left here in the third quarter. Palco to hold. These are big here. Kick is up, and it is good. He bounces that off the screen. Whoa. Let's go down to Gary Sutton. Gary, we have not seen overtime since 1994.
Well, if there was ever an appropriate time to see overtime, it would be tonight. This game has been played as excellent a game on as excellent a level as you're ever going to see. But we now know what was said at halftime by both coaches. We're going back to the ground. It works real well. Only one pass thrown by both teams here in the second half so far. And what we've seen, poise answered by poise. And that's why we're tied up right now, 21-21 here with 1:35 to go in the third quarter. Jed?
Hey, they lit up the Wildcat for me over there on the far side. Anyway, they lighten this scoreboard up here.
Hey, look at the offensive line push there. Boy, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of beef butting heads right there in that 1 yard space as Tyler Palco sneaks into the end zone for his second touchdown of the ball game. And the game is tied once again, 21 apiece, minute 35 to go in quarter number 3. As you're looking at the West Allegheny kickoff team.
6,708 is the official attendance. What we got here, but the Wildcat, they lit that up. They pointed that out. So you ridden that baby.
That is a wild coaster. That beats you up, throws you around.
They got the Great Bear over there, and that's a little bit beyond. There it is. So we got a roller coaster they're lighting up for us. And how about this scoreboard? Pair of 21s in a great football game right here.
This is
as good as it gets.
This is one of the better games that you're going to see at the high school level. This is what a state championship game should look like.
Well, they would love to get Hannum a kickoff return. It's going to be Moore again. Now, Hannum camps under. He had a 92-yarder last week against Manheim Central. Gets to the outside. Look out. He's a dart to the 35. What a stick of dynamite this young man is. He has a 43-yard catch tonight to set up one score, a 75-yard touchdown catch, and he almost took this to the house.
Yeah, this is what speed does for you on a football field. Look at this. He just outruns these guys. He outruns that whole wall.
And he got pushed out by Mike Laser.
There weren't too many white shirts beyond Mike Laser.
Possibly setting up for an extra point if Laser's not there. Here they go, 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. It's going to be Brian Moore on the carry. He slams forward to about the 34. Tackle is made by Hobbs. Trishilla is also in on that. And Kellen Campbell. Give Leonard credit.
Moore has had a nice night out of the running back spot tonight. He's followed his blocks well. Whether he's going inside or outside, they've used him very effectively.
Owen McGarity is in at the tight end spot now for Strath Haven. Final minute ticking down to this third quarter. Got a whistle while they sort that out. We check in with Gary Sutton. Gary?
You know, it's been interesting to watch the trend here in the second half for Strath Haven offensively. What they've been doing is taking Moore to the outside, Carl to the other side, and then they set up the big guy in the middle, Mulhern, to dive, and it's really worked well here so far in the second half, resulting in a touchdown. No passes thrown thus far by Strath Haven, and we've only got 55 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
There's a football player.
Still second down.
He's got steam off his head there. It's no big deal. I think that's Mike Cunningham. Yeah, it is.
That is Mike Cunningham.
Can't be surprised that Mike would be that intense.
His teammates say he's the hardest hitter on the team.
Great,
looks like
great
it,
player. He's an all-state candidate, obviously. Do a little misdirection. Brian Moore ends up with it. That kind of looked like one of those basketball drills. I forget what it's called. Gary'd probably know, but
yeah.
Let's look at this again, and then we'll go down to Gary.
That's a nice precision play, executed very well. And I'll tell you what, Kellen Campbell, he doesn't make that tackle. That picks up a lot more yardage because he had a couple of blockers in front.
That's like a layup drill or an old Globetrotters thing, Gary. What do they call that?
I think they call it the weave, guys.
The weave, all right.
The weave, yeah.
He wasn't ready to give the ball up to anybody else, so I'll tell you that.
Connor, 43-1 as a starter. He's the quarterback, stepping under center on 3rd and 6. Back again, looks, got a man, it's Hannum. Hannum looking to make a shift, and Slappy finally collects him at the 49-yard line, but it's good for a first down.
I got a question. I don't know how Josh Hannum sneaks out of there that wide open. Had to be some blown coverage somewhere along the line.
I think he leaked out late. I think it was just kind of a late release.
He must have. because he was wide open over there. Slappy comes over to make the tackle.
All right. Well, we played 3 quarters of football now, 21-21, and we haven't settled a thing. It's a great game, 21-21. All right, Gary, you know you're in a tight finish. It's going to be a white knuckler, and you know, by this time, you know what kids can handle this pressure and who can't, right?
I think both these teams are handling pressure brilliantly, and I think, again, the reason they're back here playing a second straight time this year, I mentioned it earlier, poise, poise, poise. It's all about poise.
I'll tell you, Gary mentioned last year's game, and that was a tremendous ball game. The score wouldn't indicate it. It's 21-7, but it was the Mark Jones show, and he was just a truly a great football player to watch. He's now a freshman, University of Tennessee. Jones simply rushed for 114 yards in last year's championship game, 2 touchdowns, and he had 3 receptions for 53 yards. More importantly, you remember, Jed, he had 2 touchdown-saving tackles on defense. The first time when he chased down Chris Leonard after an 80-yard gain and punched the ball out of his hands.
That was a huge play.
That was an amazing play and turned the game around.
Here's Mulhern, the big fullback, and he winds it to the 45 of West Allegheny. See, this is where Mulhern really starts to be a factor.
Yeah.
This is a guy, a 15-20 carry a night player, and he's a handful in the 4th quarter when you're all tired. He almost fumbled there.
Yeah, look at that. Well, yeah, the ball was
Popped a little
almost
bit.
stripped, but I'll tell you what, he's strong enough to hang on. And this guy is just a true workhorse. And like you said, Jed, you need one of these guys in the 4th quarter of a state championship ball game.
Got 6 on 1st down and 2nd and 4. Double handoff, Calder. Can he get to the outside? Calder still alive. Got a 1st down to the 40-yard line. Runs through a tackle by Mike Craig from behind. This will be an interesting play here. It's kind of one of these double switch handoffs. More to Calder there.
And Calder gets the corner briefly, but Craig comes up, makes the stop.
How about total yards in this 3rd quarter? 56 for West Allegheny, 57 for Strath. I mean, it's unbelievable. You had 65 yards each?
65 and 65 in the 1st quarter.
Here's more, right up the middle. Got hammered by Manny Rojas. He may have gotten maybe a yard. That's about it. Gary Sutton, you have something new for us.
Well, it's kind of interesting. One of the kids just ran over here, ran by Kevin Clancy at Strath Haven, smiling from ear to ear. If you want to know what kind of game this is, he said, "Coach, this is great." These guys are having fun down here. I'm telling you what, that's what you like to see here in high school athletics. And these 2 teams have just returned to good, old-fashioned, hard-hitting football the second half. It's like watching 2 fighters throwing haymakers in the middle of the ring.
I know we're enjoying it. Here's Calder, got a big hole. Calder got a sing. Got a 1st down to the 29, a gain of 10. He's running well. This guy had 3 carries at halftime. They're dialing his number a little bit more in the second half.
Yeah, fake handoff to Mulhern up the middle, sucks in the linebackers, and there's Calder, gets some good blocks out front. Steve Windsor out there, tight end. Another 1st down carry for Mike Calder. Like you said, Jed, he doesn't touch the ball often, but when he does, he picks up a lot of positive yardage.
We mentioned he's that change-up type back, more the motion man. No handoff Mulhern. He slams right behind Patel and Love, and he's all the way down to the 22-yard line. It's a gain of 6. Again, average yards on 1st down. I got to like Strath Haven's number in this second half. They are getting big chunks, 5-6 yards a pop here.
Watch this. The hardest hit comes from his own teammate, Zach Love, the big 290-pounder, ran right into the gut of big Zach Love.
What was Connor at the break throwing? 207 is what that I saw. They haven't thrown the ball yet in the second half, from what George Zurich, Travis Sparks also helping us with a book here. Handoff, going to be Calder. Make this Hannum to the 19-yard line, and I think he's got a 1st down. He's close.
Well, that's a good play. You want to get the ball into the hands of one of your most potent offensive weapons, and you're looking at him right there, number 8, Josh Hannum. He's got pure speed.
It's only his
blocking. You know, if you're not going to throw the ball, like Kevin Clancy's going to be conservative in the second half of play, he's not going to throw the ball, and why throw it when guys like Mulhern and company are chewing up yardage on the ground? So why not use your tremendous offensive weapon, Josh Hannum, in another fashion?
Yeah,
keep him on the ground.
I got to make a correction. They have thrown 1 pass, and that was a 15-yarder from Connor to Hannum in the 3rd quarter during their touchdown drive. 3rd and 1. And they may got West Allegheny off. Nope, they jump back. More of the motion man. Mulhern Jumps forward, I don't know. Too close to call down there by the 18-yard line. Gary Sutton, you're standing in there. You say first down? Is that what I'm seeing?
He's got it by the length of a football.
All right, they're not even going to bring chains out.
There, Mulhern, once again, second effort. Got hit, stood up at the line of scrimmage, but fought off the tackle. Good enough for a first down.
You know what I like about this Strath Haven offensive line? They got that shock right off the line of scrimmage. Boom, you know what I mean? I mean, they're really flying right now.
They hit you quick.
Calder trying to jump outside, spins through a revolving door to about the 14-yard line where Tyler Palco collects him there. Palco, you know, we talk about him so much as a quarterback, but most of the scouts really love his work at strong safety.
Yeah, look at here's Tyler Palco, and that's a nice wrap up there.
And Craig is the guy that got underneath there, but
Palco made the wrap up.
Right.
I'll tell you what, though, Coach Bob Palco's got to be a little bit disturbed. His son Tyler's making way too many tackles from that safety spot. That means that the running backs are getting beyond the line of scrimmage, beyond the linebackers.
12th play of the drive. Calder, big hole up the middle to the 10, and then just got hammered.
That's a big-time hit from Tyler Palco out of his safety spot there. He's getting up. I'll tell you what, this is a football game, fellas, and you can tell by the hitting here. Look at this. Calder right up the middle, and boom. There's his opposing number 3, Tyler Palco. Not only sticking him, standing him up, but dragging him backwards a little bit.
Pair of threes with the Big Bang Theory at the 10. Calder, Connor on a keeper, hit from behind and dropped. Going to be Mike Laser again, coming from behind, and an interesting decision coming for Kevin Clancy. I don't believe he thinks Showman has this kind of range. Let's get the replay.
Comes from the backside, right back there. He's the outside linebacker on the opposite side. Came in untouched on the blitz and sacked Mike Connor.
They're going to take Showman out and try this field goal. Got an official timeout. They've had the ball for a little more than 6 minutes. It's going to be about a 29-yard field goal. Showman has missed 1 extra point. And there's that big foot right there. White shoe. Gary, is that spot down near about the 19? Is that where they're at?
Now, if he's going to try to hit this thing.
Well, he's back up. They've got the tee. They're ready to go from the 19.
They're going to go about the 19-yard line where he has a spot now. You got it. And, of course, the spot where the football is. You know, it's interesting right now when you think about this Strath Haven drive, though, how much this is wearing on the defensive line of West Allegheny. You know, both teams have just gone to real plain football here in the second half. Simplicity, Woody Hayes type football. 1 pass thrown by both teams. And you got to wonder right now if it's the last team that has the ball that is going to score. But this field goal coming up here is very, very huge.
Let me ask you, West Allegheny has just called a timeout. And you do it in basketball to freeze a free throw shooter maybe, and they do it all the time for field goal kickers. But does it really work?
Well, I'm not sure right now. I don't think they believe automatically this is going to be a field goal effort. So I think they're making sure they cover all the possibilities. That's what great coaches do. And you talk about great coaches in this game tonight. Palco and Clancy have been doing a magnificent job. So you cover the little things right now. And, of course, the little things are what get you to championship games.
Well, they've changed their mind. They're going to go for it now on 4th and 4. They're not going to kick the field goal. So West Allegheny, by calling timeout, gave them time, and they may have talked themselves out of it. 4th and 4. I think what they looked at, if we don't get it, maybe our defense can give us great field position because they are backed up. I think that's part of what Kevin Clancy redirected there. Here's Connor on 4th and 4. This a whopper. Play action looking. Got a man. McGarity, touchdown. They're in front, 27-21. McGarity has taken a fumble return 76 yards earlier in the season for a touchdown. He had one against Manheim Central last week. He's in the house again from 12 yards out. No, and Connor just couldn't have thrown it any better here.
No, it's a beautiful toss. McGarity was open from the get-go. Never really picked up. Wide open, back of the end zone. Good toss from the veteran quarterback, Mike Connor. And Strath Haven retakes the lead, 27-21. 14-play drive, 70 yards, took 6:25 off the clock.
Here's Schoenman for a huge extra point. Snap down kick is good. 7:02 remain, and West Allegheny will get a chance to counterpunch now.
Here,
what a game.
We're going to see this touchdown once again. McGarity, I believe he lined up in the slot. Play action. Once again, here he comes straight at us.
Garrity's a great look at tight end. He's a junior, 6'3". And there was a very happy Steve Windsor to greet him right there. Well, 7:02, and West Allegheny has proven they can move on this Strath Haven defense.
Yes, they have. Their last drive was a beauty. 11 plays, 64 yards, culminating in the Tyler Palco touchdown. They need something very similar, but I'll tell you what, that Strath Haven drive, picture perfect, took 6 minutes and 25 seconds off the clock.
Most points Strath Haven had given up in a game all year was in week 1 against Roman Catholic. They won that game 42-14. The other time somebody hit double numbers, Upper Marion, the last one to do it, back on November the 10th. They won that game 46-13. There's a big kickoff return coming. It's going to be Fitzgerald, and he's a home run hitter. He's at the 10. He starts the journey. He's got the outside. Look out, 40. And he's got great field position set up for West Allegheny all the way to the 48-yard line. 42-yard kickoff return for the very quick Jamie Fitzgerald.
Well, this game just keeps getting better and better. Big players making big plays in a big game. Here you see Fitzgerald. Watch that good vision once again. Cuts it to the outside, just flat out outruns a bunch of Strath Haven defenders before he's finally knocked out of bounds.
Well, this is a great situation for West Allegheny. Special teams have really bailed both of these
Wow,
clubs
that's right.
out
I mean,
a little bit tonight.
that run back by Fitzgerald is just huge.
Totally.
I mean, half the field's in their rear view mirror.
Backs are denied. Motion man. Gonna be Hawkins. Big Helen Campbell rumbles forward to about the 42-yard line. He is hit by Steve Windsor. Also in there is gonna be Zach Love.
Another good tough run by Kellen Campbell, takes the hands off. Look at that big hole open up by the offensive line. Couple of pulling guards right there, making that thing happen. Clay Martin pulls out of the right guard spot, opens up that hole.
Campbell again. He flies forward. Steve Windsor got him from behind, and Zach Love again. Love's been all over the dial tonight. Number 75 in black and silver for Strath Haven. And it's 3rd, and let's call it 3. Here it is again.
There you go, Steve Windsor staying home too, out of his defensive end spot, pinching in.
West Allegheny will come out of this huddle. They are 4 for 7 on 3rd down in this game. Thank you to Steve Trees, Travis Sparks, and George Zurich keeping track of everything for us. Travis spotting for us tonight as well. Here we go on 3rd down. No back set again. Blitz is coming. Palco got him in. It's Slappy. Cut around. He's still alive all the way to the 22-yard line. It's a gain of 19 and a 1st down for West Allegheny. A flag is down. Holding West Allegheny. It's coming back. Ouch. We'll get to the call on this from Dave Wiley when he sets it up.
This call flat out hurts. They get a hold. I believe someone held Sean Gray.
Yeah,
Sean
Gray was flying through.
He was flying in from his defensive end spot. Palco, quick drop. Slappy found that seam behind the linebackers, but it's coming back.
All right, here's Dave Wiley.
10 from here.
Here he comes.
Holding. On the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay the down.
So 3rd and 3. Looking at it here, it's going to be about 3rd and 18 or so for West Allegheny, and it takes them all the way to their end of the field now, all the way back to their own 44. They will need the Strath Haven 38-yard line to get a 1st down. So 3rd and 18 coming here for West Allegheny, and they're going to call a timeout and talk it over. 5:18 left.
Yeah, that penalty changed a lot of things.
Let's go down to Gary Sutton. Gary, what do you have?
Well, it's kind of interesting on that last play because we saw man-to-man coverage down here by Strath Haven. Quickly, Palco recognized it, and he tried to get Slappy hooked up on Hannum. Obviously, he had him, but the holding call, such an important one right here that takes him back and really puts him in a hole. But you got to think Slappy is the guy they're going to be looking for the long pass again if it's man-to-man coverage.
We are streaming this game on the World Wide Web tonight at PIAA.org, www.PIAA.org. and look forward to everybody.
I'll tell you what, it's not that cold out, but it's not that warm out either. 27 degrees at kickoff. That's certainly not T-shirt weather.
There we go.
One of the best bands in the state, right there. Strath Haven band.
How many buses? 8?
8 buses, 250 strong. And I'll tell you what, they had this crowd absolutely mesmerized in the pregame.
Well, it took them 20 minutes to walk out, 15, 20 minutes just to get on the field. They're walking regimented style. Right now, 3rd and 18 for West Allegheny. Single coverage, Slappy and Hannum. That's a matchup to watch. That's on the bottom of your screen there. Play action. Palco looks, throws, got a man. It's caught. Chris Leonard. It's close. He's about a half-yard shy.
Just shy. It's a big league catch, though, by Chris Leonard. Watch
Huge.
this.
He's
Ball's
stretched
a little
out.
bit underthrown. Palco, great throw. Throws it looking to the far side of the field. And Leonard leaps out, makes the catch. Big league catch by Chris Leonard. He's had a big game tonight. Just about a half-yard short, it
from the
appears
end
to
zone.
be.
Great call. That was a catch. No question about it.
There we go.
And about a half-yard. Palco over his big center, and he's got the first down. Mike Hobbs blew it open again.
I'll tell you what, Kevin Clansley and the Strath Haven coaches, they're yelling at the referees. Slappy over here on the near side was calling for a timeout.
That ball's out. That's a fumble right there. That looks like a fumble, and they recovered. Let's go to Dave Wyatt. Nope, they're bringing the chains. If we can see this again, gang, right after the measurement, that ball is out. And it was out, wasn't it, Gary? That look out from yours?
It didn't look like it was really out to his knee hit the ground from down
here it
here.
is.
And they've got the first down.
Yeah, he lost it. No question.
Wow.
They recovered. Boy, they are fortunate.
That did it?
Whoa.
Well, in a couple of instances, like I said, Joe Slappy's out here. He never got set into position at the wideout spot. He was calling for timeout.
West Allegheny dodged a bullet there. 28-21, Strath Haven on the lead. And West Allegheny, 3rd and 18. Leonard stretches out, makes
Big
a
play.
brilliant catch. And then they survive a fumbled exchange and counts on it. Here they are, 1st and 10. Here's Campbell. Got a big hole, has 5, maybe 8 more. Let's go to the 30-yard line. Make it a 7-yard rumble. 2nd and 3 upcoming.
Well, that's the impressive feature of both these offenses. Look at this. Kellen Campbell, interior of their line, picks up 7 yards. You know, you mentioned the ability to pick up substantial yardage on your first down play. Both these teams, Strath Haven and West Allegheny, have been so very successful in picking up good, solid yardage on first down.
I'll go under center. This is a huge drive. Campbell runs right into Zach Love and also Pat Battelle. Mulhern
again
is there. Cunningham, just great defense.
I'll tell you, Pat Battelle, defensive tackle number 55. That's also Mulhern in there. He's probably about 15, 16, 17 tackles tonight.
I mentioned his game against Berwick. 11 tackles, 2 interceptions, had 139 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Touchdown.
Probably drove the bus on the way
He's
home.
something. There's Kellen Campbell. He's doing a lot of the load right now to the running back spot. He's got his 3rd straight carry, and he's got a first down to the Strath Haven 26-yard line.
Now, these are all big plays. These 3rd down plays these West Allegheny kids are coming up with are huge. Kellen Campbell, this play is every bit as big as Chris Leonard's catch. He needs to get that first down marker, and he does so. Follows his blocking, good vision once again, picks up the first down. 3 minutes to go in this ball game. 28-21. This has been a dynamite football game.
There's your time remaining in regulation. Again, we've only had 2 overtime games in the history of the championship. The last came in 1994, Mount Carmel in double overtime against Forest Hill. Palco, play action. Does it open up? Yes, it does. Throws high for Leonard, I believe, over on the far side. Leonard looks like he may have turned an ankle over there. He's coming back, gimping to the huddle a little bit.
Yeah, he came down a little odd there. Leonard came back for that pass, but he came back a little too much, looked like. Palco put a lot of steam on that.
It's a safe route, though. You just do a kind of a curl out.
Yeah, it's either
and if he overshoots it, you stop the clock and you go and collect your thoughts.
It's either be caught or go out of bounds, so.
Well, there's your down and distance there on the left of your screen and the time remaining. There's Tyler Palko. No back set right now. This has worked for them for the most part. Blitz is coming, throws, got a man, Slappy. Trying to get yards after the catch, and he dances for another first down all the way to the 14-yard line. It's a gain of 12. Well, this was a holding call the last time they used this play. But Slappy has been able to get some stuff underneath down the middle a little bit.
Well, they've been finding that seam in the zone. Once again, Tyler Palko, they've been picking this apart all night, right behind the linebackers. You see Mulhern there, trying to chase Slappy from behind. Zach Love trying to finish it off there. This has been working all night for West Allegheny. Just a quick hitter to either Slappy or Leonard, right behind the linebackers.
Kellen Campbell finds the going tough and then dances out of that, spins through to the right and gets to about the 11-yard line, a gain of 3. Let's go to Gary Sutton and see what Gary has for us. Gary?
Well, you know, you said about that play inside the zone all night long, Mark. But what's so important to that is Palko keeps standing there, kind of waits for the moment. And so many high school quarterbacks will rush that pass. Not Palko. He waits until his man gets in there and lets it go. Put it right on the money again.
Yeah, that's a good point, Gary. He does. He waits till his receiver clears the zone, and then he zips one in there. No doubt about it.
Ball is at the 11-yard line. The motion man is Hawkins. They'll hand off to Fitzgerald. He gets to the outside. I think Battelle and Mulhern gobble him up inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. Down to a minute 20. Underneath, here it is again.
And there you see Mike Hobbs and the guys on the right side, Dustin DeLucia, doing a great job all evening long. Clay Martin and company.
3rd down 4 coming up. Does it get any better? I don't think so. The ball is at the Strath Haven 8. There's your time remaining on the upper right of your screen. Blitz is coming, and I think Gray may have jumped offside.
I believe you're right.
Gray
Sean
is
Gray.
number 19. He's a dynamic talent. He's really added a lot of speed and bolt to this defense. He's definitely
Lewis, we're
off.
going to go half the distance.
All right, let's
Okay.
check in with Dave Wiley here. Let's just listen
yeah.
in on him. He's our referee.
Dead ball foul. Encroachment on the defense. Half the distance. Replay the down. 3.
Is that a first down or 3rd down he's got? They got the chains are marking at 1st down. It's
Referee.
3rd down and short, right? Or is that a 1st down? It is 1st down and goal to go. West Allegheny got the ball with 6:52 left. They're going to take this right down to the end. Handoff, Campbell has a hole, right through, and they closed it on him. What a play by
Mike Connor.
Mike Connor. Wow. Now they're going to use their last timeout.
Came up from his safety spot. You watch this right here. Mike Connor, number 15, comes up, and he makes a touchdown-saving tackle.
Also in there, Mulhern again. What a night he's had defensively.
I'll
Looked
tell
like
you,
he had a seam to get in, Mark.
This Strath Haven defense, it sure did. And I'll tell you, number 15, Mike Connor shut the door. Mulhern was right there as well, but Mike Connor coming up from the safety spot, that's a big play for a safety to make.
We have mentioned that was their last time out. They had to burn one earlier, and they did that to try and ice the kicker, and then Strath Haven changed their mind, and they got the 12-yard touchdown pass to get the lead here earlier in this 4th quarter when Connor hit Garrity.
All right, 32 seconds left. 2nd down.
I roll Palko out here. You roll Palko. If nothing's available, you think you can get him run, and that way he can step out of bounds because, you know, you got to have all 3 of these things in play, and you got to use the dynamic talents of the quarterback.
So I bring everything here to the short side.
Absolutely.
John Mulhern, by the way, 17 tackles tonight, 11 unassisted.
Although Fitzgerald's an intriguing option, but I think they'll roll him out. Looks, throws, pass, almost intercepted and dropped. Mulhern says he has it, and it's close. All right, Gary, you were there. What do you got?
Had an interception. I really believe he held on to it.
We're watching it
over.
up here now.
Take a look at it on the instant replay.
All right, gang. Here it comes. Off his foot. That went off his foot.
That's an INT.
It's an interception, but
That's an interception.
they're going to get 3rd down with 28 seconds left. That's an interception.
The ball is loose. Off of Mulhern. Now it's off of Slappy's
Yeah,
foot.
the other angle, guys, that you had down there, is better than that one. That doesn't tell us the story. We'll go back to that one angle, though, and show you. It's definitely an interception. Here's Palco back again. He can roll out, trying to look, throw, touchdown. He's in, I think. Yes, he is. Chris Leonard. They're a conversion away from tying the football game.
And Derek Javerone has hit 102 out of 108 career attempts in point after. So
well, 103 doesn't get any bigger. 14 play, 48-yard drive. It was the kickoff return by Fitzgerald was just humongous to set him up at the 48, and it took 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And you play for overtime here. You do not go for two. I agree with the decision to play for the extra frame.
Oh, yeah.
So you mentioned what? He's only missed 6 extra points.
Out of 108.
Snap is key here. Ooh, a high snap. Great play by Palco, and it's good.
Oh,
Let's look at that again. Palco saved the day.
That was a great play by Tyler Palco. That snap came back hot and high. And Palco corralled it, got it down. Javerone got the kick up.
All right, here's the play before the touchdown pass to Leonard.
Here's what we're saying could be an interception. Okay. It's off of Hannum. Mulhern looks like he has it, and now it looks like it hit the foot of Slappy, and Mulhern retains possession. That's the way it looked from here.
That definitely hit his foot. Now here's the snap. That was a rocket shot back to Palco, saved it. And then Leonard, of course, he's got a 3-yard touchdown catch. That's his second of the night. Beautiful idea. You know, Leonard just to work his feet in and have the presence of mind.
Yeah.
All right, here's the play again. This is...
Here's where it hits the foot, right there. That's bad, but right there, you see that hit the foot. It hit the right foot.
Okay, it did come out. That thing wobbled out from his arm. Great job. See, you know, how would you like to be an official trying to make that call? You got a Billy Davis. Remember that with Nebraska and Missouri and the kick? Well, they were right. The ball popped out. All right, Gary, go.
Well, one of the nice things about high school sports, though, there'll be no recount on that one. Not like government at all.
Yeah, and won't have your face in a curtain like the NFL either, you know?
Well, in all fairness to the officials, they've had a great game tonight. It would have been a tough call right there.
Well, they got the right call, Gary, and after we looked at it.
You know what? Yeah, on the third go-around, Mulhern, after it hit the foot of Joe Slappy, Mulhern looked like he didn't come up with it cleanly after that. So, yeah.
That's our advantage, so it all works out. Well, they tried short chip to try and get the ball, and that almost worked. That was a great play.
Oh, boy.
Holy cow, they got 22 seconds and 3 timeouts left.
Almost caught the Panthers asleep at the switch.
Wonder what they're debating over there. Let's see. If the ball goes out of bounds, so does it go to the 35 or does it go to the point? Let's go to a Dave.
Okay. Or just not touch. Yeah, we got.
Yeah, you can take the ball where it went out or at the 35. They're going to take it where it went out at the 40. That's what that is, at the 41-yard line.
Yeah, well, Kay touched the ball. Legal touch, out of bounds.
Now they're talking about an illegal touch.
10 yards. We're going to go.
All right, here's what all right, let's go to Dave Wiley, the official here, see if he gives us a total ruling.
Yeah. Okay, they want, right there.
That's exactly, okay, so we were right. You get an option with the ball, right, and then or the 35, depending on where, you know, you feel you've got your best spot. All right, you got 3 timeouts left. You got 22 seconds, and you got a home run guy like Hannum who's already got a 75-yard touchdown catch. And if you don't make it happen, we go to the 10-yard line, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Each team's going to get a crack.
Slug it out from there.
Here's Connor over center. Maybe the best game ever in the tournament's history here tonight. Connor throws. He's got Hannum. Look out if he can get out of bounds. He's still alive. 30, 25, 20, and they push him out. They are in field goal range, ladies and gentlemen, with 12 seconds left.
Wow. See, that's what pure speed does for you on a football field. Just watch Josh Hannum. After he hauls in his Mike Connor pass out in the flats, he turns. There's a lot of open field ahead, and he knows that. He knows, he's aware of the clock, and he's aware that he's got to get out of bounds, so he's heading towards the sidelines, but not until they push him out.
38 yards, that is, all the way to the 22, and they didn't even have to use a timeout.
That's huge.
So they can use the middle of the field if they so desire. I think they're still a little bit out of Schoenman's range. So they have to get something. And they are really backing off Hannum. They're 7 or 8 yards away from him. Handoff, Mulhern, big hole up the middle. Mulhern still rumbling, stumbling. He's all the way to the 8-yard line. They call timeout. 6 seconds left. They can get Schoenman to try and win this football game now. And he's going to have about a 27 or 28-yard attempt.
What a football game we're watching from Hershey Park Stadium.
What a gutsy call, but they knew they had a timeout. They had 3 timeouts, and they got a big kick-out block there.
You know what? That's right. And Hannum, they were keying on Hannum. West Allegheny was going to key on Hannum, so that wouldn't have worked. But this worked to perfection. Right up the middle to Mulhern.
Wow.
Shook a couple of tackles.
2 plays. They have gone from their own 41 all the way down
to
the
big
7-yard line. First and goal at the 7. Wow. And they're going to use a timeout. Let's go to Gary Sutton. Gary, kind of a frantic pace down there right now.
A little bit down here, Jed. Just a little bit of excitement. A 24-yard field goal effort coming up here. And if Strath Haven could convert it, you're talking about a team that steps into some rare air. Only 3 teams, Farrell, Berwick, and CB West, have ever won back-to-back titles. That's what Strath Haven is trying to do right now with 6 seconds that separate them from joining quite a group, a triumvirate, which would eventually become a foursome.
Well, maybe what they're thinking here is they do a, no, they're going to kick here.
They're going to kick it.
Here's Schoenman. We'll look at it from here. He's number 24 on the top there. Connor to hold.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, they could fake, obviously, but I think they're going to try. This will be about a 25-yarder, and he's going to call a timeout.
You know, I think Kevin Clancy left his options open. He wanted to see what West Allegheny would line up with. This is a chess match between 2 great coaches, 2 great programs. He probably wanted to see what West Allegheny would line up with. If it was something that he could devise a play and look for a play and punch one into the end zone, he was going to do it. Mike Connor constantly looking over to the bench to Kevin Clancy. What do I do? What do I do? Do we take the snap? Do we snap the ball? Do we set up for the field goal?
Let's go to Gary.
Wind is going from left to right down here as you look at the field. Not much of a factor. He's got the ball dead in the middle of the field. You couldn't ask for a better angle right here. 24 yards away, 6 seconds to go, and I'll tell you what, isn't this a fitting ending to this ball game?
Gary's onto something there, too. On the run, you get the spot, too. That was something, too. Kevin Clancy's no dummy, right?
Right, oh, yeah.
I mean, he wanted his kicker in this part of the field.
And you saw what a veteran Mike Connor is. He was out there pawing around, looking at the turf where he's going to have to set it down.
We'll let you react, folks. 25-yard attempt is good. They win it. 1 second left. Wow. Well, the 2 big plays, and we'll look at them again once we're through this. Hannum, 38-yard catch from Connor, and then they run Mulhern, and he got a big burst in there inside.
Busted Mulhern up the middle to set up the field goal. Got it to the middle of the field. And I'll tell you, I have not seen a better football game in a long time. This could be the best football game I've ever seen.
This will rank right there with some of the great ones here at the Hershey Park Stadium. I think easily.
There's the replay of the game-winning kick.
Who almost got there? I'll tell you what, Joe Slappy.
And Tyler Palco, number 3, in there as well. Yeah, Joe Slappy.
Real close.
Joe Slappy, look at this. Here, we're going to see it in reverse. Joe Slappy came in here and almost got a hand on this thing.
Game of inches, right? Trite statement, but boy, it's so true there. Well, I hope if you're on the web at PIAA.org, streaming video, how about that streaming kick, right? I mean, it's kind of a wounded duck, but oh, a beautiful thing if you're Strath Haven for West Allegheny.
Football.
You know, you lose on the scoreboard, but there are no losers in this baby. This was a classic. As good as it gets. Campbell trying to put a fork in it, finally comes up, and now we've got the old Stanford band play moving here, and then Strath Haven finally puts it out. Strath Haven wins the 2000 state championship with a dramatic 3-play drive. They go right down and kick a game-winning field goal. Schoenman, Carl Schoenman, from 25 yards out in an absolute epic. Gang, if we could see the big play from Connor to Hannum and then the Mulhern run, this is what got us here to the game-winning field goal. 31-28. Well played, well called. We'll do the field goal right now. You'll see Slappy come here on the right. He almost got there. Yeah, so did Palco. There he comes.
Oh, in fact,
he may have overrun it.
Yeah.
It looks it from that angle, but
yeah,
he didn't.
It sure did. But I'll tell you what, he was very, very close to blocking that kick.
Wow, what a game. Gary Sutton, you're down there. What are you thinking?
Well, it's absolute pandemonium. It's a shame that anybody has to go home with anything but a gold medal tonight. Both teams with gold medal efforts here. Strath Haven walking out, we said, in rare air. Only 4 teams now in the history of the PIAA have gone back-to-back titles. Of course, Farrell in 95-96, Berwick, 4 of them, 94-97, CB West with 4 straight, and they have 59 in a row. We'll see them tomorrow night. And now add to that list, Strath Haven, 2 in a row, and what an unbelievable season. And just nothing but great feeling down here on both teams. Just sense a great deal of respect. Tears on the side of West Allegheny, pride on the side of both teams. Both walk out of here tonight winners.
Doesn't get any better than this, Mark. 31-28. There's a survivor, not a winner, and Strath Haven. Both these programs are a winner. Strath Haven, number 30 in a row. I mean, what a fabulous year they've had, and they showed a lot in the clutch here.
30 in a row, and it sure didn't come easy, did it? I'll tell you what. West Allegheny, what a game bunch. This team came in here and scrapped and fought very hard. Almost came away with gold tonight, but like Gary said, both these teams deserve gold. Strath Haven with the second longest winning streak in the state of Pennsylvania. They haven't lost since October of 1999. 2 gold medals in between right here at Hershey Park Stadium. I'll tell you what, Strath Haven Panthers have had a very tough road to get here to Hershey. They had to knock off Berwick. They had to knock off Mannheim Central. And here's that pass. Big, huge pass play.
It's a 38-yarder, right, to Hannum?
Mike Connor to Josh Hannum, and here, Josh Hannum's pure speed. He knows there's only 22 seconds left on the clock at this point. He knows he's got to head towards the sidelines, but he's already outrun a whole slew of defenders, so he's going to keep heading for the end zone until he gets pushed out of bounds. And here's the run from John Mulhern. Nope, this is the field goal attempt, and it is good. Joe Slappy, number 7, very nearly blocks that kick as the field goal from
here. It's close.
25 yards out is good to give Strath Haven their second straight gold medal as a AAA bracket. What a game.
Well, I must say, I've got to just, the admiration I have for our crew. They really hit a grand slam, getting you all the pictures and just everything. This is a great one here. 31-28. Strath Haven wins it. You know, they had to survive their District 1 playoff game. They won a 7-0 game from Upper Darby, a team that plays in Quad A.
Well, like I said,
they had just a pressure cooker type of game.
And in order to get here, brilliant. They knocked off 3 unbeaten teams in successive weeks. Pottsgrove, Berwick, Mannheim Central, and now a very, very tough West Allegheny club to win the gold at Hershey.
So again, there's West Allegheny. There's nothing to be ashamed about there, is there? They were brilliant in defeat. They just ran out of time and lose at 31-28. Got to hand out dueling gold medals just for the show they put on here tonight. Gary, final thoughts from you down on the sideline.
I guess the final thoughts end up with these. Class, distinction, high level of play here tonight. I said it earlier, and I know it sounds so trite. It's a shame that anybody has to go home here with anything less than gold when you give an effort like that. And you hurt for the other coach. You hurt for Bob Palco and his kids. What an outstanding effort. But you feel for a Strath Haven team. When you have 2 championship teams like this playing on a high level, it's like watching someone paint a masterpiece. We saw a masterpiece here tonight.
There they are, Strath Haven, 2 in a row and counting.
You know, it was something special when Strath Haven took a 28-21 lead in the 4th quarter with a 6-minute and 25-second drive. So what does West Allegheny do? Well, Tyler Palco engineers a 14-play, 48-yard drive, took 6:30 off the clock, only handed the ball back to Strath Haven with about 30 seconds on the clock. and Strath Haven a 3-play drive, and they win the ball game. Incredible.
And Hannum, what a night he had. I think he only had like 4 catches, but boy, they were all huge.
All home runs.
Well over 100 yards. Well, we got 2 tomorrow. This will be a tough act to follow, but I have a feeling we might get that done tomorrow. Mount Carmel, Aliquippa at high noon. And then 5 o'clock, we will have 2 top 10 teams. Erie Cathedral Prep against Central Bucks West, going for win number 60 in a row in their 4th straight PIAA Quad A championship. A lot of thanks to go around to the PIAA Executive Director, Brad Cashman, Dr. Bob Lombardi, Melissa Nash-Mertz, and gang. Don't forget about Mark Byers. You see him there, our entire WITF production crew, and of course the great staff with the Pennsylvania Cable Network, PCN. I hope you enjoyed this one, everybody. 31-28, Strath Haven wins it again. Back-to-back, only the 4th school to do so. For Mark Shuey, Gary Sutton, our entire crew here in Chocolatetown and Hershey, 31-28. I'm Jed Donahue. Good night, everybody.